Luncheon Table, Alzheimer'sProAm.com.
You probably know Stingray for radio advertising.
What about digital advertising?
Yeah, we do that.
Connected TV?
We do that.
Search and social?
And that.
Programmatic? Digital out of home?
We do it all. Endless digital platforms to connect your business to more customers, to intrigue them, engage them, so they choose your product or service. Get started now at stingraymediasolutions.com and let us help your business grow. We are Stingray. That's what we do.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Have your sports curiosity cured.
Gives the U.S. the lead.
A veteran of the sports reporting game for over 25 years.
They gotta get it off. Throw it. Throw it. Throw it. Did he get it off?
Yeah, he did.
Oh my gosh.
Couple seconds left.
So John feeling the pressure of whether or not this rock is shot. So looking to tick it. Ticking it in.
There we go.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
Shave before checking in front of Barron, and that was played ahead for McDavid. Marcus off goal. McDavid.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, here we go for Saul 625, Monday, March the 16th. So glad you're with us here on a Monday morning to tune into the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440, presented by Sports Select on your AM radio dial on your morning drive, wherever you're heading out to on a Monday morning. So glad that you could join us on a night where last night the Oilers came up with a huge win over the Nashville Predators. We'll do a deep dive and dissect this baby all morning long. You can also watch us on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. Drop us a like, a subscription. We would appreciate it. It's free. We're also on X, Facebook, Instagram, even Twitch. As always, we are streaming on iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, and even on sports1440.ca. If you miss any part of any show, well, you can find it where all the podcasts hang out on Apple, Spotify, Google, even Amazon. Please subscribe, select the auto download. You'll never miss any part of any show. Our text line will be quite vigorous this morning at 833-401-1440. Westside Don texted in about an hour and 20 minutes ago to lead things off. That's how fired up he was to talk about things today. We'll get to that a little bit later in the show. Let's welcome in our co-host on a Monday and a Friday, Eddie Steele, Grey Cup champion from 2015. All-decade team in the CFL, all-century team in U Sports. But when you were playing, it was the CIS, though. Right?
CIS ball.
CIS, yes.
Well, you forgot WHSFL High School All-Star. Winnipeg High School Football League now.
All-Star. Wow.
Can't miss that, Kevin.
Well, very impressive. I mean, very impressive. There's no denying that. How was the weekend?
Good, man. Good to be with you boys. Yeah, it was a pretty low-key weekend, KK. Yeah, what did we do? Had my boy Jackson his last hockey on Saturday, so that was nice. So he's a part of the Hockey Heroes program, and if you notice, the past few games, there's a lot of pump for that with the Oilers. They're getting a portion of the 50-50, and you're seeing during intermissions, Gene doing some interviews and talking to people with the organization. It's pretty neat, man. So, yeah, my son's a part of that.
And then Lenny's still
doing that. No, Lenny stepped back this year.
Okay.
Yeah, Lenny stepped back, Lenny Anderchuk. But, yeah, there's still a great cast of people who support.
Well,
one of the fellas you might recognize, the main guy who runs it now, Scott. He does the elevator at Oilers games, getting up and down. Older, kind of bald fella. You'd recognize him if you saw him.
They have 3 or 4.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he rotates. He's not always at the exact same media elevator going up, but he's always.
Well, if he's moving around the elevators, yeah. So if he's in a different elevator, then we wouldn't see him.
But he does the media sometimes.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was good. So had that, man, and Yeah, just low key. Church yesterday, pretty low key weekend, man.
Boy, I did a little work on your charcuterie board, but
saw.
I'm not getting up. I can't get into it, Eddie, yet. I need a little inspiration.
Where's the lack of motivation? What's going on?
Because I'm giving it to you.
Oh, I guess. You would think, if anything, that would have some urgency, man.
Yeah.
When's the last time I got some flowers?
Oh, come on. Man. Come on. Man. So last night, the Oilers went 3-1, but the bigger story is the concern for Leon Draisaitl. Left the game after taking the hit from Ozzy Weisblatt in the first period. Came back, was on the bench for a little while, but the Oilers had to kill a penalty later in the period. So it took him a while he had one more shift. So he was on the bench, about 4.5 left, and then he had a shift later in the period. But he tried to see if he could make it work. Couldn't do it, but that's a cause for concern. There's a level for concern there. I think the initial comments from Chris Knobloch were that, it's not as bad as as it could be.
Right.
Or, the fear of losing Leon for a longer period of time isn't there as much as, and he wants to play.
He's a tough SOB now. We know that about Leon.
So they played tomorrow against San Jose. They got a big game here Thursday with the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers here. So
it was no small hit either. Like, it was a jarring pop he took.
Yeah, but hey, there was a clean hit. There's nothing wrong with the hit. It's just that you hit Leon and he got banged up. But the response was great. And Weisblatt, that's his style. I mean, that's how. There's no other way he can stay in this league if he doesn't play like that. And the response was great. You got to talk about Podkolzin, and I mean, Nick Haig's got a half a foot on him and 50 pounds.
That was weak by Nick Haig. So much bigger. Like Podkolzin showed the heart.
Because now he's sticking up. So it's just that's the mentality of it.
Yeah, I really, we've gone back and forth, you and I, about guys, stepping up and taking on way bigger guys. We talked about Connor a couple games ago, but with Podkolzin, this one's a little different. Like, to me, this was a direct reflection of Haig. And yes, Haig stepped up, but that was soft, man. Just tying up the smaller guy like that. Kudos to Podkolzin for doing that.
That's the thing. See, you got to give. It's not about Haig tying him. The fact is that it's Podkolzin tying him up. So now, Haig, so you gotta, and like, Haig's a big, strong guy. He's not a fighter heavyweight champion guy. He can get the job done because of his size. But I always and here's the other thing. Haig is like, are you sure you want some of this? That's how I saw the first few seconds.
It looked like Vasily wanted to throw the Dukes, though.
Well, sure he did, but again. So here, the thing that he could have, because it wasn't like he snuck up on him. Like, he could have, and he could have got one quick one in. But now if you don't land that properly and don't tie them up properly,
you're in a bad position.
You're in trouble. And again, it's survival, Eddie, when you're going with a guy like that.
Ed got that cheap one in late too.
Yeah,
but the ref got involved.
So, but hey, full marks when you're doing that, and Kapanen went at it, and then like Frederick went at him, and like Weisblatt, he gave Frederick a shot that wasn't called.
Yeah, he did.
So at that point, and then Wallman hit him too. So I think the response was just really good.
KK, night. Is it safe to say since the Olympic break, Trent Frederick has really upped his game?
Best hockey that he's played here. And I mean, there's the sample size is like last year, non-existent. He was damaged goods, was not even noticeable.
No, he wasn't.
And then for the first half of this year, leading up to the Olympic break, but he's involved. He's he's got a couple goals, hit and whatever, and he's playing his best. Matt Savoy too. I mean, that was a beautiful goal. The second goal, he is starting to come into his own, and he's playing with Connor McDavid right now. So
he that snipe that Savoy had, great pass, great finish, and Matt Savoy does a lot of the little extra gritty things that you might not always see, but he's in there hard on pucks.
He is hard on pucks, and he's also he's a good positional guy. He's a penalty killer, obviously, does a great job there. So
speaking of the PK, looking good, huh?
PK looks strong, man. First period was amazing because they had they took 3 penalties. They were perfect last night, and that was probably the difference that they won the game. Steven Stamkos rips one off the post with the $1.15 left, and then 10 seconds later, it's an empty netter for Hyman. So, you got to give the Oilers some credit after, especially you come home. They thought that they had, or maybe deserved better in St. Louis. They had to find, if they could have found a way to nail that down, it's only 1 point. They get 5 out of 8, but still, it was bang on for what they needed to come back here. So, around the sporting world, hey, got to give a shout out to the University of Alberta Pandas. They shut out Sherbrooke 3-0 last night to win the U Sports National Volleyball Championship. So that's the 8th national title in program history. They had so much success like 25 years ago with Lori Eisler, but this is the first for Pandas coach Carolyn O'Dwyer. She's been on the show many times. So I guess she would have a gold, silver, and bronze. Her 3 years here. So she's got one of each color.
Impressive. What's the name of their stud?
Abby Guzin.
Yes, yeah. I was listening to her. I think you had her recently, and just unfinished business for them because last year the way they lost, it was kind of heartbreaking. They were favorites and they ended up losing. So came back, retribution tour, and got the job done. And then she now gets the opportunity to go pro. I think where's she going? Italy, I think?
She's going to Italy, yeah.
So that's cool. What a nice 11, cherry on top.
11 kills. Lila Johnston had 12 kills. The great Ali Moore had 5 kills.
What are we looking over here for? Fanny.
Old Joshy boy, the pipes are calling. Also in the World Baseball Classic yesterday, the United States beat the Dominican Republic 2-1. The ABS system, everyone wants to be the last call, was a ball by 4 or 5 inches. I don't know, whatever it is. Sometimes here's the thing. They might not even had a challenge left, Eddie. That's the thing. So decent chance that you might have used it up by then.
Fair enough.
So anyway,
but that was a bad miss.
Yeah, USA will take on the winner of Italy and Venezuela tonight. Cameron Young won the Players Championship. It was a tough to watch. Oberg kind of faltered down the stretch.
Back 9.
Yeah, Cameron Young won that one. The Oil Kings lost to Calgary 3-1. The Raptors defeated Detroit 119-108. So that's a big win for them. Hey, let's welcome in the Duke of Delburne. After a tough weekend for the Duke, played 16 games.
Felt like it.
How many total?
4, I guess. Friday night, Saturday, and then 2 yesterday. 1 in Manville, 1 back at the Claire Drake. Turnaround.
Jeez.
But I got to say, Kev, back-to-back, Manville rec tourney champions.
There you go.
Shout out the whole crew. So hear this, Kev. You're an older cat, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the 2 guys that founded this tournament, I talked about this last year when we came in. Skoggy and TJ are their names. They started this tournament, 30-some years ago. They're 50 and 51 now, I think. Skoggy turned 51 on Friday. TJ was the best player on the team. Scored, I think, 3 or 4 goals in the gay final yesterday after I watched him drink like an entire 60 of vodka on Saturday night.
Wow.
Guy was just an absolute beast.
How did he?
I don't know.
Lubricated.
He bounced back, and his kid played on the team too. He was the like 18-year-old completion of that line, the vet line. So Trace and Madden and Hunter and Brad were the other young bucks, like midget players that played on the team. Brad was our goalie. Roland brothers, Skokon. I'll make sure I don't want. They love hearing the shout out on the radio, so I don't want to miss any of them. My D partner Aaron, we were the lockdown pair.
Oh wow!
It was quite the weekend. We had a few changes from last year's roster. I mentioned Tyson Susie, who's normally our goalie, couldn't make it, so we had to get a.
I was going to say, is that related to?
Yeah, it's his brother. Yeah. So great weekend with the crew. Unbelievable job. Dwayne is the guy that organizes it. A lot of fun. Always a treat to go out. And I go to Manville like once a year essentially. And everybody just welcomes me in with open arms, treat me like one of the locals. So always fun to go out and get a good showing from the fellas. And then Ben Clark, he was on the team last year. Okay. He came straight from work in Saskatchewan, just drove straight to the rink Saturday night to come and party, and then back to work Sunday morning.
Well, dudes are funny, man. Sometimes guys just need a piece of the action. I get it. Duke has Larry the liver.
the liver's okay. Like, listen, you drink plenty of beers over the course of a couple of days, but it's more so just the rest of the body. Like, you guys have been inside these small town rinks that we all grew up playing in, and you just sit on those benches for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
Every time I move, like I sit down, I feel like from my tailbone, I feel it shift up and my spine's poking out the back of my neck after sitting on those wood benches for a couple days consecutive. So that's great. My knees hurt. I wore one in the ankle yesterday, selflessly, in the A final.
Needs bigger shin pads.
Yeah.
Longer shin pads.
The longest ones possible, down to cover the ankle bone. So, and then back for the Tropics last night at Drake, and picked up a win there too.
Were you in goal last night?
No, none of these games I had to play net, thankfully. And I'll be honest, tomorrow's Tuesday night skate at Nate. I might be asking for a sub. I just need a day to recover here.
Must be in tip-top shape though, Duke.
Because now this weekend I have the Delburne curling all-nighter. Friday night into Saturday from the DCC.
It doesn't stop. KK, it doesn't stop.
March is a month that 10 years ago, when I was in my early 20s, you'd be like licking your chops. Wow, what a stretch run here.
Now
Three straight weekends. Now for me, it is purely survival. If I can still be standing by the end of Rockets tournament in Delburne at the end of March, that's our beer league tournament. If I can make it back to the city Sunday night, I will consider it a rousing success.
I don't know if you'll be able to handle it, Duke.
He didn't even bring up St. Patty's Day tomorrow. You got to skate tomorrow, but you know he's going to have a green beer or two.
No, that ain't me.
Psych.
We got the Ulsterman coming in for a little Irish whiskey tomorrow morning.
Oh, really?
10 o'clock, yeah.
Nice.
That'll be taste testing.
10 o'clock, smart, wise choice. The last hour.
You better believe it, baby. Coming up on the big program, Alan Mitchell will check in at right after the break at 7:20. We'll discuss the Oilers win and some other things. Get some of your texts. Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet at 8 bells. We'll go in or out with Eddie in that 8 o'clock hour as well. Kristen Shilton from ESPN, our headliner of the day at 9:20. Austin Mock covers the NFL and March Madness. Selection Sunday yesterday. A lot of people talking about Duke, one of the number one seeds, and they got a pretty tough region to get through here. So, and then Landon Ferraro from our Sports 1440 pre and post game show, our analyst here on Sports 1440 will check in at 10:20. When we come back, Alan Mitchell will slide in. It's the Kevin Karius Show with Eddie Steele, brought to you by Sports Select with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. And we're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
With the lead up to the playoffs underway, players are definitely stepping up their game.
And the fans are doing the same. Simple snacks like chips and dip may work at the front half of the season, but now more and more fans are rocking the Wilhauk beef jerky for game time get-togethers.
Just make sure you bring enough for everyone if you want to be invited back for the playoffs.
Make your next hockey game day a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win games with salad.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our number one selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of. like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Some deals are too good to be real. Not at Tim's. For just $8.99, get a hearty loaded wrap with wedges and Coke. A real meal. And for $8.99, a real deal. Try it at Tim's. Plus tax. At participating restaurants in Canada for a limited time. Terms apply.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 721 in Edmonton. So glad you're with us on a Monday morning, and time now for the Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And at Fountain Tire, we focus on one thing and one thing only. It is your vehicle. From tires to wheels to oil changes, vehicle repairs even, we have you covered. Visit fountaintire.com and book your appointment today as we welcome in Alan Mitchell, the host of The Lowdown with Low Tide, daily here from 12 to 2. Good morning, Tide. How was the weekend, big fella?
It was very good. It was the last shades of remnants, I think, of winter, and now we're heading into the springtime. And I imagine you'll be planting your garden. You probably already have your bedding planned. Tomatoes are going fine. And
hey, never mind, Tide. You were the guy from our text line. Everyone's saying that Tide wrecked it back in February, saying that winter was over. And then we had another a big blast of minus 20s,
bad cold spell,
3 feet of snow.
I've been in radio 46 years, and what I learned about radio is that it doesn't matter if people are talking about you negatively or positively. If they're talking about you, it's a good thing. So every year in the middle of February, which is the nuttiest thing to do, I go, well, that's it. That's it for winter. And people get outraged. They get absolutely outraged. And if you don't believe me, every time you find a TV weatherman, just ask him how people react. Because the TV weatherman gets blamed for everything. It's true.
Wow. And back to the garden component here. The tomato seeds go in Masters weekend, Tide.
Okay. All right.
You've already have dropped the garlic, no?
We planted some winter garlic. So you plant that in October.
Right. What about radishes? When do they go?
Well, they go very early, but what you got to do with the radishes here in the northern climate, you got to put ashes from your fire pit in.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can get worms and they just don't grow, and they get woody on them,
So Kevin, I'm challenged with my petunias. What do I do for good food mulch for them?
For food mulch?
Yeah. Also, the slope of my land on my house seems to be, doing worse each year. What do you recommend for that, Kevin?
Well, you probably need some weeping tile along the side of your house, Tide.
A good idea.
Oh, Kevin.
It's like Cliff Clavin from Cheers.
You're funny, man.
Alan Mitchell with us. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele on Sports 1440 AM radio. Well, Tide, the Oilers needed that one. Hopefully Leon Draisaitl isn't banged up too badly here, though.
That was if Leon's good, then that was a great night. The numbers are, just going to read you a few of them. Connor Ingram stopping 26 of 27. Matt Savoy up on the big line doing really well. And there's an obscure line. Nuge, Dickinson, and Roslovic were 4-0 shots, 60% expected goals, 4-1 high danger chances. If they can put Savoy and keep him on the top line, Nuge on another line without Draisaitl, say with Dickinson and Roslovic, that would be the third line, but really it might play more. This team really might have something here. I know people are mad at everything, but between Connor Ingram and a third line of Nuge, Dickinson, Roslovic, if that could work with Savoy up front and then Podkolzin and Kapanen with Leon, you're really, I mean, you don't even need the ashes for your radishes. They'll just grow, you know.
We were chatting about this last week, and Kevin said it a few times on his program here. Now, is it safe to say, Low Tide, that this is Connor Ingram's team?
Yeah, and it's it's too bad because I think that the pressure on goaltenders in Edmonton is enormous, and you have two ways to handle it. One is the Mike Smith way, which is throw the puck past everybody's ear and then blame somebody else when it goes in the net. And you might think I'm joking, but Smith deflected all the blame. He did, veteran guy, and he never owned any of it. But the reason he did that was I think he just kept his himself confident. And we saw with Jack Campbell what happens if you lose confidence in a city like Edmonton, you get buried. So I worry about Tristan Jarry, but I think that he'll be here next year. They're not going to trade him, I don't think. Give him time to straighten himself out, and thank goodness that they made that small trade for Connor Ingram, because he really does look like the guy, and they need him badly, man.
Yeah, and Chris Knobloch said as much before the game, and they're going to need Tristan Jarry to figure things out in a hurry here too, because they're going to need him at some point. Because for one, Connor Ingram hasn't had a workload that is expected to come up like it is right now for a long time. So they're going to need something from Jarry to piece, a game here or a game there together at some point for sure. What do you think? Like Matt Savoy too. I mean, last night that goal, Eddie and I were talking about it off the top, Tied, and beautiful shot, great pass by Connor McDavid, obviously too. But I mean, Matt Savoy, you can just see he can play on line 1, line 2, line 3, wherever you need him.
Yeah, and he's perfect for this team. They traded Ryan McLeod, and if you go online, people are just angry as hell about that. But they traded a third-line center for a guy with the potential to be not just a top 6 winger, but a responsible top 6 winger. And Savoy's a smart hockey player. I mean, you never really know about a player until he plays for the local team and you watch him every night. But I just am so impressed with how well he plays with and without the puck, and he has a great instincts. Like playing with McDavid isn't easy, because he's so gifted and he thinks, so aggressively offensively, and he can make passes no one else can. So you better have your stick on the ice. Patrick Maroon knew that, but a lot of people don't. I think Savoy up there is a really good idea, number one, and I think that he may play more up there as time goes on, but he's smart as a whip. What a really brilliant young hockey player.
Now, Murphy, he took that penalty yesterday. He came down hard, broke the slashing penalty. But overall, that's a write-off in my mind, whatever. He has played very well since he's gotten here. You notice the strength that he has and just the solid defensive fortitude that he plays with. Hey, Low Tide?
Yeah, and he's not a, one of the things that I think that we when we talk about defensemen, we're like, well, he's a shutdown guy or he's a puck mover. Murphy's not a terrible passer. He can make a pass, and he's not terrible with the puck on his stick. Not to put anybody down, but Vincent Desharnais had troubles with the puck. Murphy, he's not like that, and he is so physical and he's mean. Mean is a thing, and in hockey you need it, and they need a little more of that. And I know that people want that out of Darnell Nurse too, but I think that pairing could be really, really ornery in the playoffs, and I'm hoping they are, because they've already relaxed the rules, so the Oilers might as well take advantage of that too.
Alan Mitchell with us on Sports 1440. So if Leon Draisaitl isn't able to go, you would imagine that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins goes into that 2C. Having said that, and we discussed it a little bit here in our conversation, Tide, RNH, Dickinson, and Roslovic have been, they're 3 veteran guys again. And if you want to call it a shutdown line, I don't even know if I would call it that, because there's a lot of offense there. There's a lot of offense with the capabilities there.
Yeah, they are. And it's there's a small subtle difference between Adam Henrique, who's a really more talented offensive player than a few guys up there, but he's just a little bit older now, and you turn 30 and there's a little slope, and you start going down it, and Dickinson's just young enough to be able to play at a high level in terms of energy and speed, and he can make plays. And then when you give him, line mates like Roslovic, who's highly creative, far better player than I thought he was, and then Nuge, who's just a complete 200-foot player, that line is trouble because they're very smart and they are great with the puck on their stick, and they've got enough speed to be able to make the other team, play the game straight up, honestly. So I love that line. I really like all three players. Roslovic I know he's a streaky scorer, but he's another guy who's very smart. I know that it's illegal to give Stan Bowman too much credit, on the radio or online, but I think that he's brought in some really good players, and Roslovic would be, for me, he'd be right up there at the top of the list. I really like his play, and he's a surprisingly effective play, even without the puck.
That line had awesome grade A opportunity last night, eh?
Well, that was a little
touch
cheeky
by
touch pass by Roslovic to Dickinson.
What a pass that was, man.
Yeah.
On the fly, just a quick one-time touch pass.
Late in the period.
Now, Low Tide, I've heard you talk about this player for a long time now. You watched him in Boston, and I thought you were crazy thinking that this guy, who is this Low Tide talking about? Because I haven't seen it, but the real Trent Frederick is coming out to play, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and it's possible for me to be crazy and to be right about Frederick. So, but when he played in Boston, guys, he was exactly the kind of player. Boston fans and Oilers fans are very similar in what they like. They like the rugged guys. The guys who can, create a little bit of havoc. And my dad used to call people dirt mean. And Frederick has that in him. He looks like he's, your paper boy. He looks very young, but he's not like that. He's a little filthy, and he plays with an edge. And, he just couldn't get to plays earlier. And I think it was the high ankle sprain. Whatever the reason, he's not like that now. I'm very encouraged by his play. Reminds me of Connor Brown a couple of years ago where he didn't do much, and then all of a sudden things turned around and he was so effective. Frederick is a guy who I think that Oiler fans will grow to love, and I know it was a struggle early, but he's coming around now, and I feel like he gives them. Somebody said the other day, I can't remember who it was, and I apologize for not giving credit, but he forces everybody into a physical game to get involved. There's a little bit of sometimes a dreamlight stake for the Oilers when they're in the first period. Frederick is the sort of player who says, to hell with that noise. Like Bob Kelly used to do for the Philadelphia Flyers. He'd run in and ran over the goaltender, and now everybody's upset. Frederick kind of has that in him, and I really like that about his game. And he can also play, which is a big deal.
I'm betting that you could name and give me Bob Kelly's nickname right off the hop here.
Well, it would be Hound Dog.
That's right.
Yeah.
My old Hound Dog.
There was another guy named Bob Kelly. Battleship was his nickname, and he was the toughest guy ever. I mean, that guy, he grew up in Thunder Bay. He played in the Thunder Bay junior team. Then he went to Pittsburgh and a few other places, but he was mean. Like, I loved watching him play. I didn't watch him much because, they didn't have cable back then. It was just, bunny ears and fuzz, but I did like watching him play.
Well, the Flyers back then, they're going home,
Oh, yeah. It's so tough. Oh, my God, they were tough. And then they'd have guys like Tom Bladen and Rick McLeish who weren't at all tough, but you couldn't get to them because somebody would flatten you.
Yeah, like the hammer.
Battleship. Isn't that kind of a nickname like for you too, KK? The big ship with those wide turns you take?
Eddie, this is your turn. Don't try to deflect here with your turning radius on skates.
I'll say this. I think Karius would play better on European ice because it's a bigger surface and he'd be able to turn better.
No, I like the small. I would have been better in the Boston Garden.
Tight rink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One more player I wanted to bring up, because he's sort of flying under the radar might be the wrong term here, but because of what's happened with some injuries and things like that, and getting the opportunity, because he doesn't make any mistakes for a guy that's just, cutting his teeth in the league, and that's Josh Szymanski. He had 2 minutes on the PK yesterday. The PK was one of the main reasons they won the game last night. So,
he's, the Oilers pro scouting department has gotten a few things right here, and I don't know who else to give credit to, but I'll give credit to Stan Bowman and whoever the European scouts are. because like this is a guy who played in Germany as a center, the DEL, and I can tell you because I follow this stuff. The pipeline from for 23-year-old centermen with size who can play in the DEL, who can step into the NHL, is not high. There's not a big pipeline there. But this guy is, when he was in Bakersfield, he played a really responsible game. They relied on him for pretty much everything except the power play. And now he comes up here, and I remember thinking, okay, well, he's going to get some games. Well, he sure as hell is, because he doesn't, that's the kind of guy that a coach will just throw out there all the time, because he always does the right thing. He's well trained. And he's not small either. Usually you get the guy from Europe and he's a little bit small or slow, one of the two. This guy's got it all. I'm very impressed with Szymanski. I'm not saying he's a burner, but he can keep up and he can play, and he makes smart plays with the puck, and they clearly like him.
By no means, Tide, am I comparing Josh Szymanski to Fernando Pisani. But if you think about it, like Fernando, when he was down in Hamilton, and I've said this many times on the air here, he was one or two injuries away from not happening with the big club to probably going to play in Italy for his career. And then when he got called up, what did he do? Well, he was responsible, never made any mistakes. He got the puck in, he got it out along the boards. He was phenomenal along the wall. And Craig McTavish said, I can depend on this guy. So
and he, I remember that very well. He had Dan Cleary playing the position that Pisani took over, and Cleary had been, had some, good games, good years with the Oilers. But what he liked about Pisani was his consistency, and they ended up moving Cleary along, and then Pisani, passed into legend. I see him every once in a while here in St. Albert driving his car. It's, pretty nice car, but he's done well for himself after his career, and of course he's a legend here in Edmonton because of that big goal. But if they can get anything close to that, man, that's fantastic, man.
Both, because Fernando was down in college, and he was in Hamilton, came up later. He wasn't a 20-year-old guy. He was, probably I'm not certain of the age, but probably similar to where Szymanski ended up. After playing.
I think he was. If anything, he was a little older. I think he was about 24. But Mac T loved him right away, and credit Mac T. He as a 5-on-5 coach. I think Craig McTavish was brilliant. The power play, not so much. But Toby Peterson back there, Mike York with a broken hand. But the 5-on-5 McTavish was a brilliant coach.
Good stuff, Tide. What's coming up on the big program today?
Well, we'll have Rachel Draisaitl at 12:40 joining us, and we'll have Jason Greger at 1:20. They announced the March Madness brackets, and Declan will be either rolling his eyes or jumping up and down with glee. We'll talk about that. And I'm telling you what, the umpire in last night's I'm telling you, I am going to go off on that at noon, because that was a special game, a memorable game. And it's like calling the Carlton Fisk home run foul. Come on, man. Somebody's watching a classic game like that, and you ruin it with a bad call against Soto and a bad call against Perdomo. Let these guys play, for crying out loud.
It was a classic game. And Ty, just really quick before we let you go, do you buy this narrative? Aaron Judge says that the WBC is bigger and better than the World Series. You buy that?
No.
He said that.
I don't.
He said that in a media interview.
Yeah, but I think I think the political atmosphere in America now has so much nationalism that it's viewed in a very specific way, and that often happens. If you go back and look through history, it happens. But the World Series is like 100 and bazillion years old, and I remember stuff from the World Series, like Brooks Robinson when I was like 7 years old. So. This is nice, and maybe it grows over time, but it was a classic. I'll tell you what, it would be a lot better today if the umpire hadn't blown a couple of calls, because I'm not sure the best team won last night.
Well, the other thing too, Tide, is with ABS, there's an opportunity. There would have been a chance that DR might not have had a challenge left in the bottom of the ninth either.
That's true. That's a good point.
So you never know.
That Soto pitch was not a strike either. That was DS. Yeah. Right.
Good stuff, Tide. Take care, man. We'll talk to you next week. Have a great show today.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks.
Alan Mitchell, you hear him daily on the Lowdown, 12 to 2 right here in Sports 1440. That's the Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And Book an appointment today at fountaintire.com. And again, we focus on one thing, and it is your vehicle. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts. 833-401-1440. It's a Kevin Karius Show with Eddie Steele, presented by Sports Select with the Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We're the #1 dealer in the world. Just kidding. If we were, would you care? We're the #1 dealer in Canada. Still kidding. You probably still don't care. Tell you what you will care about, our March Madness sale going on right now. Discounts up to $30,000. And the grand opening of our Autoplex, a massive indoor showroom. No self-proclaimed titles, no iPads, no trips to Vegas or hockey jerseys, just a really good deal. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Great news for your weekend project. CFI, that's Custom Floors Inc., is now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 till 2. Get top quality Canadian products from Beaulieu with the convenience you need. For your free estimate, visit CFI at customfloorsinc.ca.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the VLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the Postgame Show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Whether it's a house, a gas station, an apartment complex, or any new building going up above ground, the work always starts below ground. And that's where you'll find GS Construction. GS Construction ensures the first step, relocating utilities, installing new ones, and building the underground systems, is taken to make progress possible. But the work can't start without you. GS Construction is currently on the lookout for experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators. To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today, because it's time to be the man you remember.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
Welcome back to the big program, 744 in Edmonton. Eddie's saying something about ease is pain.
What's that from?
Well, from Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
But
I just heard the line in the song, ease in pain, and then just ease his pain.
hey, you think you're
Dr. Archer?
James Earl Jones here or what?
What was Doc's name in that movie?
Yeah.
Moonlight Graham. That's it.
Archie.
Archie Graham. Yes. Yeah. There we go.
Played by Charlton Heston.
Yeah. Just walks off.
And now, hey, how about just a quick sidebar? The wife of Kevin Costner in the movie, Amy Madigan, won an Oscar last night.
Oh, for what?
Supporting actress.
Did you watch?
I watched. No, I only watched the tribute stuff. So they had a long, because I mean, there's so many people that died.
Mhm.
So I watched. It was Rob Reiner to start with, Billy Crystal. They brought out all the cast of When Harry Met Sally and some other movies that Reiner directed, and then they transitioned to what's her name? Rachel McAdams. She did a tribute to Diane Keaton.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end, it was Babs, as she likes to call herself, Babs Streisand with Robert Redford.
Mm-hmm.
So 833-401-1440. Kevin Carey Show is presented by Sports Select. It's so easy to play. Visit sportselect.com, generate a QR code, and then check the how to play videos for step-by-step guidance. Sportselect.com. It's 100% legal. You got to be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Text 833-401-1440. A two-parter from iMac here. First, let's discuss the what's your take on 97? Connor McDavid weighing in on the lack of Department of Player Safety and its soft response. So Connor was asked this yesterday morning because of the Austin Matthews suspension to Radko Gudas, which came down Friday late afternoon, I guess it was. 5 games. Connor chose his words very carefully at the very beginning of his answer and then said, but it's a process that maybe needs to be revisited. Again, everyone's on the same side here in the sense of, well, unless it's your teammate going like suspended or your teammate getting hurt. Like everyone wants more when it's a suspension. Like everyone wants to see 10 for Gudas.
The whole process is flawed. There's no denying, Kevin. It's up and down. It's inconsistent.
The PA,
is what the process is.
The PA and the DOPS are supposed to be working hand in hand here, but again, it never happens that way. You never see it that way.
Yeah, for me, the process is so incredibly inconsistent. You never know what's gonna happen on any given play that causes injury or harm. Yeah. I'm always taken back to a two-handed over-the-head tomahawk chop in the playoffs from Alex Pietrangelo. And he got a game.
Yeah.
Like the guy took his stick and literally tomahawk chop like he was trying to cut wood on Leon. On the arm.
Yeah.
But to get a game for that, I just never computed to me.
Yeah.
And
that,
sure,
to
it's
me,
playoffs.
that was way more violent than the Malkin.
For sure.
Malkin got 5. And
For
I know
sure.
people prorate the playoffs too.
And that's a whole nother inconsistency, that we are judging the same game based on postseason compared to regular season.
Then he wants to talk about the hit on Leon. IMAC called it the ass first hit on Leon. He said the team wouldn't have gone after him if he strayed him. Nobody likes that kind of hit. Ask around. I replied, no. To me, it's a clean hit, and you're going after him no matter what. If it's a clean hit, dirty hit, because he hit one of your stars. So, and I think that's fair.
Yeah, I didn't see anything dirty about the hit.
No.
It was a jarring hit.
I think he's saying because it wasn't like a total reverse hit. I don't see it that way, but I thought it was a clean hit. Matt Texan, could be a coincidence, boys, but Freddie's recent play can be attributed to Doc coming in and doing what he should have been doing all along. Maybe the injuries finally passed him. Either way, pumped to see him playing the way he is now. And Eddie mentioned that too, right off the hop here, Matt, about, since the Olympic break, really. He's been really good.
He's a baby face killer, man.
The baby faced assassin.
I see that face. This guy can't be a shade over 19.
No. Craig and Red Deer, morning, guys. And with the Sharks coming here tomorrow, do you think celebrating is the Hart Trophy winner if San Jose makes the playoffs? Seems like a no-brainer to me, considering how far ahead of their second leading scorer he is, which is true. And he's making fun. Is it Pat Falloon, Sanders Ozelinch? Craig and Red Deer says that. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When it comes down to the Hart Trophy, there's going to be someone that's left off the list, and you're going to go, come on, man. Because it's going to be either McKinnon that's left off, or it's going to be Celebrini. And if San Jose doesn't make it, it's probably going to be Celebrini that's left off. Because Kucherov is he's having an amazing season.
Amazing, 106 points.
And then McKinnon, obviously, and Connor. So Macklin Celebrini is 5th right now in points, 95. He's 2 back of Leon Draisaitl. In case you're wondering, Evan Bouchard had 1 assist last night, and he's got 77 on the year. He is 9 clear of Zach Werenski. So for me right now, I have Werenski
still
as number 1.
Even because he's injured right now, right? I believe.
Jeez, I haven't heard that.
He hasn't played, and I don't think last I looked last week he hadn't played in a couple of games. So I think that's how Bouchard's been able to continue to get this gain on him with the points. So I don't know how that's going to shake down.
Northside Lou texts in, boys, I've come to appreciate Savoy's motor. Always moving, playing hard on both sides of the puck. Yeah.
You can't, I appreciate it too, man, Northside Lou. You can never underappreciate a guy who is willing to just go, and you can see him, just the effort. That's Edmonton, right? Like, just it's a motor city. You know, we're grinders here in Edmonton. Put the head down and work.
City, you changing the City of Champions to the Motor City now?
Well, the reality is here, it's a driving city, man. You can't walk nowhere in Edmonton.
Yeah.
You got to drive.
Well,
but we're grinder. You know that, Kevin. I'm talking to one of the biggest grinders there is. Look at you.
Wait till you get the LRT going here, 80 on 87.
I'll be waiting.
Yeah. I saw a thing that said it was going to be 2028.
Yeah, right. Psych.
Hey, you know what? You brought it up too, because we were talking about the Players' Championship, and Cameron Young comes back to win it. Shoots 68 yesterday. Beat Matt Fitzpatrick by a stroke. Someone asked Fitzpatrick about, because there was a lot of the USA chance there, and he went, "Come on now." He said, "Let's go to Bethpage Black. We'll talk about it." But Sudar Shan Yelamarahu, a Canadian, was T5. Unfortunately, Corey Connors was in the mix all weekend long, but shot 72 and 74 on the weekend. But the story with Sudar Shan is quite remarkable. So he and his family immigrated to Canada when he was 4, and they went to Winnipeg, your hometown. And then they moved out to kind of Toronto area, I think when he was about 11 or something like that. Never taken a lesson. Watches basically on video. No golf lessons, no college. Didn't go to college. Turned pro when he was 19.
Wow.
And I mean, for him to have this path is, well, it's almost
unheard of.
Yeah. Like, I mean, and no one does this.
Who does this without a coach?
No coach. Yeah. No. So he skipped U.S. college and turned pro at 19. He was the Ontario amateur champion at 16. So no golf lessons. He says, I would just watch YouTube videos of Tiger, Rory, Adam Scott, anybody really. I'd watch on TV too, but when you're watching live, you can't really stop it and watch it over and over. I just like to watch various players and just find little tidbits to see what I can and cannot do. Just feel it out and see what works for me. Like, to me, that's like a savant here.
Meticulous.
Like a guy that, like, when you think about all these guys that are on the range, and you got the track master, you got the guy behind you, and you got your pegs out and everything else, and your coach is saying, okay, your shoulders are
exactly
whatever.
That's incredible to be self-taught, watching videos. And he's right. Like, watching live, way different as opposed to YouTube. You can stop, watch, Tiger's swing pattern, this and that. I saw online the local legend out of Winnipeg, Bob Irving, said that, the guy grew up going to the Golf Dome, self-taught, watching YouTube at the Winnipeg Golf Dome, hitting balls.
No lessons ever to this day. Never taken a lesson.
And just finished 5th, tied for 5th.
The Players' Championship.
That's incredible.
He's got 2 top 20 finishes. Right now has become dominant, he's still hanging. He's never had a lesson or a coach, allowing himself a small laugh when he was being interviewed yesterday. He says, I'm obviously a real field player. So it is insane to think that a guy could get to, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, he was at 9 under yesterday. Or sorry, like not for the round, but 9 under total. But I just double checked that. Yeah, finished at 9 under, so T5. He's 4 shots off the win.
So you're saying anything is possible. Duke, you could find a wife? I'm sorry, Duke. I'm sorry, bro. Strays over there, strays. That's incredible, man. I can't believe that. The fact that you can get to this level and not have had a coach your entire career, it's not really hard to believe, to be honest, KK.
IMAC won't let it go. He says it's not a clean hit. Blah, blah, blah. Nail says the hit on Leon was hard and clean. The dasher board got him. Wallman buried Weisblatt later. Hope that 29's okay. I don't see it. IMAC, sorry, man. Don't see it.
To me, when I saw that hit, man, first thing I thought was, ooh, my back, because he caught him, on the bench.
I think it's more of his.
It was lower
left leg.
It was lower body.
Yeah,
but man, that was jarring to the low back
his left
too.
leg. Yeah, and his right side, like a kind of kidney area.
Yeah, exactly.
For along the dasher.
Exactly.
Coming up at the top of the hour, Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet will be by. We'll also in or out with Eddie Steele. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by All Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities, specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunications, and street lighting. That's All Star Construction. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers back on home ice. Last night, they pick up the win 3-1 over the Nashville Predators. Connor McDavid, 3 assists in the victory. Connor Ingram stopping 26 of 27 shots. 5 of the games around the league, including the Jets picking up a win over the Blues, 3-2. Sens stay hot with a 7-4 win over San Jose. The Ducks complete the comeback against the Canadiens, 4-3 the final for Montreal. Leafs double up the Wild, 4-2. And the Kraken beat the Panthers 6-2 in the nightcap. From Calgary, the Edmonton Oil Kings fall to the Hitmen 3-1. They'll do it again Wednesday night from Rogers Place. And in the association, 7 games there, including the Raptors, beating top-seeded Detroit 119-108. OKC, SGA streak staying alive with a 116-103 win over Minnesota. And Golden State losing to the Knicks from NorCal 110-107. World Baseball Classic continuing. And the Dominican Republic come up short against the United States 2-1 the final. Gunnar Henderson and Roman Anthony both homering for the United States in the victory. And from Langley, Pandas volleyball from the University of Alberta sweep Sherbrooke 3-0 in the final to claim national championship for the 8th time in program history. Coming up in hour 2, the Kevin Carey Show will be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector, and we'll check in with a new edition of In or Out. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Getting in on the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Then sit back, watch the game, grip your chair, and high-five anyone nearby. Every bet is 100% legal with the chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a full warranty center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB, and we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at aws.ca. AWS Welding. Our welding keeps you working.
For the first time in 66 years, Golden Bears and Pandas hockey are on the move. During the 2026-27 Canada West season, two of the most successful hockey programs in U Sports history will call Silent Ice Center in Nisku their temporary home. The Golden Bears and Pandas are excited to connect with the South Edmonton community and welcome new fans to experience the tradition and excitement of U of A hockey. Same tradition, new temporary home. Golden Bears and Pandas hockey at Silent Ice Center for the 26-27 season.
The wait is over. CTV Sunday. Television's most captivating love story continues as Sullivan's Crossing returns. And as a new season begins, the road ahead takes an unexpected turn.
Would have thought you'd have mentioned being married before.
A lot's changed since then.
Morgan Cohan and Chad Michael Murray in the drama that asks, is true love enough? A new season of Sullivan's Crossing starts Sunday at 8 exclusively on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 801 in Edmonton. Text rolling in at 833-401-1440. Crotch says the Department of Player Safety has suspended Duke for 5 games for getting chirped by Eddie. Shouldn't it be the other way around? Eddie getting suspended?
Yeah, that was egregious.
That's right.
That was not a hockey play.
They find me enough. They wouldn't turn my mic on.
Oh, boy. Yeah. 5 games. That's it.
So that means I still get paid, but I don't have to show up? Is that what we're saying?
No. You're bringing in breakfast, too. Time now for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. March Madness is finally here, and March Madness is no joke. No giveaways, no phony prizes, just a good old-fashioned deal. See more at northgategm.com as we welcome in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Spec.
So here's the deal, Eddie. You got to go to work, but your pay goes towards the local sports writer assistance fund.
Or Sports Central. How about that?
What are you, the president of that too,
Yeah,
Spec?
I happen to run that particular fund, yes.
Oh, really?
It's for when guys like me get on the hard times, which is, I see tomorrow's St. Patty's Day. I feel hard times coming on.
And I'm sitting across from your treasurer, huh?
What are we looking at, Spec? Probably a $20 fine? Eddie's not saying anything?
I'm not saying nothing.
Come on now.
You can't afford my fines.
Oh, Spec. So, big fella, what's shaking?
Oh, you know what? First thing in the Monday morning, nothing yet. I just woke up half an hour ago. Come on, man. I'm not some radio guy that gets up at 5 a.m. here.
Wow. I know. Of course. But what's that?
I stay till the end of the game and all, so.
Ooh.
Is that a cut to me or something?
No, not at all.
Take it how you want it, Kevin.
Oh, he's
Take it
going
how
to
you
get
want
fined
it.
here now. Eddie and Spec, $20 fines.
Let's do a celebrity boxing match.
Yeah. What?
It'll look like Pods and Nick Hague.
True.
Hey, Pod's hung in there, man.
He did. He did. I was disappointed.
Big man, Nick Hague, boy.
I thought Nick Hague, it looked like Nick Hague wanted to tie up Pods more than Pods did the opposite. Pods was trying to throw the fists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It looked to me like neither guy was willing to say, that's how those fights work. Once both two big strong men get two good grips with both hands, it basically is like, okay, you let go of me, and I'll let go of you, and now we're going to trade him. And I didn't feel like either guy was ready to take that step in that scrap for sure. But
yeah, to me,
I wouldn't either. So
shows you how strong Podge's hands are.
yeah, he's a strong cat, like Colson, and so is Nick Hague. So anyway, it was you know what? I'm still this morning trying to figure out if that's, I suppose we'll give the Oilers credit. They play a pretty good defensive game. They get excellent goaltending. They hang on to that 2-0, that lead that they built that the other day they couldn't hang on to. So those are all steps forward. Nashville's not a great team. You'd like to think you wouldn't be in such a life and death struggle with them, but hey, it's playoff time and their lives are on the line. So good for the Oil, to after having misstepped in St. Louis, they found themselves in the exact same situation 2 nights later and handled it pretty well.
It's a fine line, Spec. I mean, you look at Stamkos with $1.15 left, that goes in, and we're not talking about something different again today.
Well, and you look at Draisaitl in overtime, shoots one off of Hover skate blade off the post, and it goes out. And if that goes in, we're looking at having a different conversation too. So it is a fine line, Kev. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Being in the building yesterday, Spec, safe to say that Edmonton was clearly the better team throughout 60 minutes, though, because that's what my eyes told me. Yeah. I know they got the win, but they just played a better game.
I thought they were better. Certainly for the first 2 periods. And then, because it's still retrievable, Nashville really pushed in the third. And that just happens. It's just the way the sport works. That team in the third period that's trailing tends to have more. And the team that's protecting the lead tends to dump it out and change more. So, I thought they weathered the injury to Draisaitl pretty well. The penalty kill was excellent. It was perfect last night for the Oilers. And, it's this time of year. Like, you don't just blow teams out this time of year. The other teams are dying for these points, man. Nashville needs them badly. So, you know what? Overall, pretty good win. Kev, what do you think?
Yeah, I full marks again. And Nashville played pretty hard, I thought. And quite, to be honest with you, I mean, they had some surges. And I thought they were pretty responsible defensively, too.
Yeah.
Hey, Spec, what'd you think of the line of Nugent Hopkins, Roslovic, and Dickinson?
Yeah, that's a nice line. I didn't mind that a bit. It's fun to see Nugent Hopkins out of his usual comfort zone spot. He can play all over the place. As such, Eddie, I really like Savoy up there with McDavid. Maybe, listen, this team's been running that same line for a long time. Sometimes a breath of fresh air and a new line mate and a couple of new looks is good for a team. Doesn't have to last forever, but I don't mind at all seeing Nugent Hopkins take on a little bit of a different role in a different line, and let Connor have a young kid who's thrilled to be there and really, really hustling all the time. I don't mind that look at all, boys.
Yeah. Did you get? I mean, I know Chris Knobloch didn't say much after. Nobody really did, but any feeling? Did you get any inkling with Leon?
Well, he did. The part that he did say that I thought would have been, if you're an Oilers fan, made you feel a little bit better, was he said, the medical staff looked him over. He said, I want to go give this thing another try. And they said, yeah, sure, go give it another try. So what he's intimating is if he had a, blown out MCL, the medical staff would have held him out of the game.
Yeah.
So that part's probably good. It's really all about waking up this morning and, and then seeing what you got. And now do we need an MRI? And what do we have here? So I know we all want results right after the game. I'm a writer. I want it when I'm writing after the game for sure. But to be honest, any injury, anyone who's ever been injured, it's really, Eddie, how you feel the next morning when you wake up. That's when we start to figure out how badly hurt we are.
Yeah, and based off my experience, the next morning when you wake up, it's usually going to be a lot worse off because the painkillers are gone, the adrenaline's gone, and you're going to wake up feeling stiff usually.
Yeah, sure.
Walked right into that one due to injury and other reasons, I guess, right, KK?
Well, the Duke's he's hurt from the weekend. Eddie can't get out of bed. You can't get out of bed, Spec.
I guess you're not at the cabin still anymore. You got back in and did some heavy lifting.
Back in the city. I feel great, man. I'm gonna go walk the dog for an hour. Never mind.
Must feel great. Nice weekend recharged.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. You know what? San Jose's in here tomorrow night. I was just looking at their schedule. They're just doing a road trip. They went like Buffalo, Boston, Montreal, Ottawa, and now they're playing Edmonton on the way home.
On the way home, yeah.
Like, what the hell kind of road trip is that? So, we always talk about, oh, this team played last night, or, you got to jump on that team. I'll tell you what, this is a situation where you got to jump on San Jose. They're in the last game of a 5-game trip. The 4 of them were out east. They're a Pacific team. And now they come back. They got to cut through the West and play 1 game before they go home. And then they got the Sabres waiting for them at home when they get there.
Yeah.
So, this will be a telling homestand for the Oilers. Like, in my books, guys, what's there left? Like 15, 16 games?
14 for the Oilers, 15 for both Anaheim and Vegas.
So 14 games. 14 games is enough. Like, this isn't me saying it's okay that they've had a lousy year or they haven't been so good. Or, the 68 games are past. You can't replay them. But I would say to you that if this team finds its groove and puts together a month and a week of, this is basically 5 weeks of hockey coming up here before playoffs. Give me 5 weeks of good hockey and go into playoffs playing well. That's not flipping a switch. That's over a month of finding your game. They'll be fine to me. But it starts here on this homestand. This is where it starts. You beat Nashville last night. Good. You got San Jose, a team you should beat. Good. Florida's coming in. They don't have much left, frankly. And Tampa's a very good team. But this is the start of, if you think you're going to not have to flip a switch with 5 games left in the season, this is where you start playing.
Well, to me too, Spec, like tomorrow's game is so important because San Jose, technically they're 5 back, but they have 3 games in hand on the Oilers. Sure. So this is right now, you can put your foot on the team's throat here, and basically you could dust them off with a win tomorrow in regulation.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that, like, listen, the goofy thing about the Oilers, I wrote this today, like, the thing that the mysterious part is they've done this, but they've done it before. They've been a really good team now for several years. They know how to win. So yeah, they haven't been very good this year. We get that. The Pacific is not a great division. That's 10-4 on that for sure. But they know how to win, and they know how to put their game together, and they know how to play. And I thought last night, and really the last, 4 of the last 5 games are a sign of that. They've played really good hockey. And this is where teams like Edmonton's experience is something San Jose doesn't have. And this is where you got to play that card, Eddie. If you have it, now's the time to use it.
Spec, I want to ask you about your thoughts, your opinion on the overall team toughness of the Oilers. We've talked about it throughout the course of the season, but boy, I am liking what I'm seeing out of this team in terms of their toughness, their willingness to stand up for each other. They don't have a bunch of scrappers per se when you think the word tough, but they are a tough team, aren't they?
Well, tough enough for sure. Like, it's not 1976 anymore, so you don't need 7 guys who fight. But yes, absolutely. I thought, like, that little Ozzy Weisblatt, he had a hell of a game last night. He was like, everybody left the rink talking about him. And when you're that player, that's what you want.
Yeah.
But you know what? We certainly didn't see a delay after Leon got hit. Kapanen got after him, and Podkolzin got busy, and everyone ended up going after all night long. They're going after Weisblatt. Wallman stepped up and absolutely smoked him on an old Nick Cronwall play.
Yeah.
So, it's not, Eddie, it's not what it used to be, where everybody throws down and there's 6 fights in a game. I mean, that just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
But I like the response for sure. And you like the fact that it comes from all over your lineup. It's not just, okay, where's our tough guy? He's got to go out, and he's not going to beat up, Ozzy Weisblatt. You're not sending out your, whoever your tough guy would be to beat up that little guy. You got to do it the different way. And I thought they handled it, as well as you could hope for.
And Ozzy Weisblatt, if he doesn't play like that, he's in the minors. He's not in the NHL.
Good for him, man. I got no problem. I have no problem with a hit.
If the point of contact is shoulder on shoulder. We've had this IMAC keeps texting in and talking about how a dirty check it was. It was shoulder on shoulder, and then he spins around.
There's nothing wrong with that hit.
No.
And you'd like to see the Oilers' depth guys, leaning on the Stamkoses of the other team, right? Whoever their best guys are.
But think about Spec, like even like after this happened, and then when Weisblatt got in with Frederick, So he gave Frederick a slash. He gave Kapanen a slash. So, I mean, the only thing he didn't do is drop the gloves.
Yeah, he wields his stick pretty good. Like,
sure he does.
The hit was clean, good hit. You know, him and Kapanen are slashing each other. That's fine. Kapanen was just as guilty as Weisblatt was. He came down with his stick hard on Frederick there. It was the old, I'm off balance. Sorry, excuse me, I didn't mean to.
Minute two.
Yeah, slashed him across the back. And finally, he got a minor at the end of the game because I think the official just said, look, son, right? You can't be at the scene of the crime all night long and it's never your fault, right? So you're making our night difficult here. Go sit in the box for 2.
What do you make of Chris Knobloch saying basically to Connor Ingram, you're our number 1 guy here for the immediate future?
I think, is anybody surprised when they heard him say it?
No.
Yeah, no. You know, so I mean, it's a two-part deal. Ingram's earned the job and he's playing well. I've liked his game. He's given him, you know, again, he's playing behind a team that has been very solid defensively until recently. And when they've been solid defensively, he's rewarded them with excellent play and a chance to win. You know, definitely a chance to win in St. Louis, and won the game last night. You know, won that game in Vegas, a tough, hard game when you're playing in a place like Vegas. So he totally deserves the job. There's some concern here, clearly, with you know, Jari. They'll have to figure that out at some point, but now's not the time. You just need one solid goalie. And I think the question becomes, guys, if Jari doesn't find his game before the end of the season, there's no way you're eating up whatever. What's he make, 4.5?
5-2.
5, yeah.
5-2, excuse me. There's no way you're eating up 5-2 a playoff cap with a backup goalie that isn't as good as Calvin Pickard. You know, in the playoffs, if Jari's game is the way it is right now in the playoffs, I would predict he won't even be in your lineup. You'll play Pickard at $1 million and have a lot more money on your cap for whatever else. I mean, the Oilers aren't in a cap crunch, but
it's almost
Pickard's not a better goalie.
So how does that work? You don't waive him. Do you just keep him in the press? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, well, you'd still have to be cap compliant once the playoffs start. The sad thing here, Spec, is that the Oilers don't have, let's just call it a $4 million player that's sitting in the wings. You know what I mean?
Well,
that they could make that adjustment and have Jari sit out and have Pickard in too.
The only way to have that is if you have an injured guy, right?
Correct. But I'm saying even they don't have that. They don't have.
Okay. So so let me translate that. It's too bad that one of their best players didn't get a season-long injury so that he was ready to go in the playoffs. I mean, I agree. It'd be awesome to have some guy sitting there to use that $4 million on, but it's not the old, you know, you can't acquire a guy at the deadline and say you don't get to play till the playoffs. Like, it doesn't work that way. So
the numbers don't work, but like, let's just say Florida made the playoffs and Barkov was in, you know what I'm saying? And then they had someone say Bobrovsky, like we can use that because the numbers work. Say something happens and Bobrovsky's stinking up the joint. Florida makes the playoffs, Eddie. Bobrovsky comes out, Barkov goes in.
Scratch him.
So your 20-man roster in the playoffs has to be cap compliant.
Right.
You can have as many million in the press box as you want. But because of that, because this is a new rule, it really it played out on trade deadline day. Because people, you know, in the old days, you'd say, oh, well, we got a guy in LTIR. He's going to come off. No one cares in the playoffs. We can be 9 million over in the playoffs, Eddie, right? So a year ago, you'd pile up all this salary and put it on LTIR. There was really no point in that now, right? There's no point. You don't get to do what Florida did last year and have $9.5 million more on the ice than the Oilers had. Those days are finally over.
Which is good.
I think it's good. I mean, you know, Florida played by the rules. This started with Patrick Kane in Chicago years ago. They're the first team that did it. And that if that's the rules, you play by the rules. But now the rules have changed, and I like the new rules better too, Ed.
Spec, good stuff, big fella. We'll see you down at the rink.
You coming down to the rink today? Attaboy.
I don't. Well, today's probably no good.
He's got to skate.
I got two things, hockey, and by the time I get there, and this will be quite an optional, I would believe, Spec. By the time I get there, it's done.
Yeah. Well, what's the point? Don't worry, I'll be there. I'll tell you what happened.
I'll see you tomorrow, though.
Cost you a pint.
Do some heavy lifting for us, Spec.
Tomorrow might not either, Spec, because we got the Ulsterman coming in for Irish whiskey at 10 o'clock tomorrow. That could be a write-off.
Day's over.
The Ulsterman. Who's that?
He's our Irish whiskey expert.
Oh,
aficionado.
Who has an Irish whiskey expert like just in
Duke
there
and I. Duke
on
and
their
I.
phone?
Yeah. Duke and I, and he comes in. He's come in a couple of years now on St. Patrick's Day. We do a little testing.
Little tasting.
And,
Okay.
it's always good to have a little Irish
Ask
whiskey.
him what he thinks. My favorite Irish whiskey is something called is a bottle called Writer's Tears. You ever see that one?
No, but I would imagine it's your favorite because that's what happens whenever you get to your computer and start writing.
Yeah, it reminds me of my career.
All right, Spec, have a good one, buddy. Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC, powered by Northgate Buick Chevrolet GMC. This truck's for you. Check them out at northgategm.com. Text 833-401-1440. We'll get to some of them when we return. It's the Kevin Carey Show with Eddie Steele, presented by Sports Select with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We're the #1 dealer in the world. Just kidding. If we were, would you care? We're the #1 dealer in Canada. Still kidding. You probably still don't care. Tell you what you will care about, our March Madness sale going on right now. Discounts up to $30,000. And the grand opening of our Autoplex, a massive indoor showroom. No self-proclaimed titles, no iPads, no trips to Vegas or hockey jerseys, just a really good deal. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off $150 service. We're basically the VLT of savings until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
At GS Construction, every winter plan becomes a spring project. Every repaired line and every improved system is how we build the next chapter of Edmonton's infrastructure. And we can't do that without the best and the brightest in the field. That's why right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators who can step in and hit the ground running. With a people-first mentality, career growth, and comprehensive benefits, why would you want to work anywhere else? To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Why pay dealership prices when you can get the same quality for less? Hi, it's Lisa, and here at Ed's Auto Salvage, we've been Alberta's trusted source for used auto parts for nearly 50 years. From engines to mirrors, transmissions to tires, we've got it all at prices guaranteed to keep your wallet happy. Shop local, shop smart. Shop Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Be sure to visit us online at edsautosalvage.com and get your vehicle back on the road for less.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the center bar. Plus, catch all the biggest games, every goal, every slam dunk. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
The wait is over. CTV Sunday. Television's most captivating love story continues as Sullivan's Crossing returns. And as a new season begins, the road ahead takes an unexpected turn.
Would have thought you'd have mentioned being married before.
A lot's changed since then.
Morgan Cohan and Chad Michael Murray in the drama that asks, is true love enough? A new season of Sullivan's Crossing starts Sunday at 8 exclusively on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 825 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius Show is presented by Sports Select. If you prefer the paper selection slips, we got you covered. Just head to your local lotto spot retailer, throw them in, they'll spit them out, 100% legal. You got to be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. I saw a line here from Elijah Wilkinson. Do you know who that is, Eddie? Ex-Falcons offensive tackle.
Okay.
Elijah Wilkinson says, so on about his former team, the line goes as such: good luck with that clown show over there. So he's obviously on the way out. He got into a battle so he signed with Arizona, got into whatever, barbs this way, that way, going back. But good luck with that clown show over there.
And is he talking about the organization?
He's talking about the
player?
Atlanta Falcons organization, is what he's talking about. So he just, he spent 3 of the last 4 years with the Falcons.
They got Tua, right? They picked up Tua here recently. So they have Tua and Penix, a couple lefties at QB. I wonder what the clown show would be. It's not like we hear a lot of news out of Atlanta, like, doing shady, stupid things with players.
LOL, y'all in hell right now. Have fun being a blank next year. So, I mean,
they are a team that's just in the mushy middle. I don't see them going anywhere fast. That's for sure. Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, I just, most guys sort of kind of just, okay, that's the past. I'm moving on. But
they obviously hurt him.
He wanted his feelings known about it. So
probably didn't give him a contract he was looking for.
IMAC can't get. He's just
let us know here.
If you look at the point of contact, it is shoulder on shoulder, and then he spins around. IMAC, come on now.
What did he say?
Oh, he said, I just watched it again. The contact is both with his ass sticking into him and spinning to his back. The original point of contact is shoulder on shoulder, hip on hip. It's not his ass. After there's contact, there's a spinning around, and I'm almost thinking like Leon's got his stick in there on his left leg on Weisblatt's. It's not a dirty hit.
Yeah, I didn't think it was egregious, that's for sure. I've seen worse.
Yeah. Jane Victoria, congratulations to Duke. Oh, and then he's talking about Duke's weekend. Oilers played well. Frederick looking better. New third line. Might have a true shutdown line. And I can't say enough about Pods. He got robbed on the power play as well. Oilers have 2 winnable games this week. Well, for sure. You got to, but San Jose is the big one here.
Man, Pods has turned into a heart and soul guy this year.
Yeah.
Like he really has.
He's at $1 million. I would just love for him if he somehow, just pot a couple more goals here in the next little bit, just so he's got a good look at 20.
Yeah, I'm with you. Is it a 1-year deal he did?
No, he signed a 3-year deal, so it's just under $3 million. But he's on $1 million this year.
Okay.
So, but the trade, it's highway robbery for what you're going to get.
Absolutely.
You're going to get a guy that again sticks up for his teammates, a guy that can play with Leon.
Has boots, as we've seen. He can skate out there.
He's physical.
Plays defense. He's up and down.
Yeah, he goes hard to the net. Great team guy.
Yeah, he's a heart and soul guy. He really has.
He's going to be.
I'm in on him this year. I'm all in on him.
Rob says, "Hey KK, I thought Jake Wallman had his best game, possibly the season, possibly in the season last night. Hopefully, a sign of things to come." And I said, I agree. I thought he was better too last night. Sometimes there's a few instances when you see him with the puck, he's a little too reckless with it, and maybe makes an ill-advised pass or trying to clear the zone or whatever. So.
Good to see that hit too. Haven't seen a good pop out of him in a long time. And I'm sure he's battling through an injury, but that hit was explosive. Yeah, back to Pods. Another thing about him, why I really just am drawn to him, man, is he has the best ability and he's always available. Right? He's a guy that's not going to miss time, not going to get banged up, plays through a lot of things. You have to be available for the coaches.
Mm-hmm. Ontario Moms sends this one in about Kevin Adams and the Buffalo Sabres again, and they continue to roll. Kevin Adams should get GM of the year, which would be hilarious in Buffalo. So he was fired. But really, okay, so what did Buffalo make under Kekalina? I guess they tried to get Parayko, but for the most part, it's the same team. They got Stanley and Shen at the deadline, but it's for the most part, it's the same team.
Club.
That
Is there a possibility that could ever happen?
No.
Because I had heard something, man, I had heard something, some chatter of that before.
but-
Like if they win the Stanley Cup, like his name's not on the cup. He built like
his name wouldn't be on the cup.
because
no?
when the timing of the move, I know he's not there, but it's the
Yeah,
timing.
I
of it.
understand. I understand your point. You know, it's funny how, and I don't recall a GM being fired and then the team turning it around. Like, to me, it shouldn't have anything really to do with it, especially now because all the pieces that the GM put in place,
They're all there.
They're all the same.
It's the same. Yeah.
know?
It's like you get this coach's bump. It's strange.
Dale Talon was fired, and the
guess,
Blackhawks
eh?
won the cup the next season.
Next season, but not same.
Well, he was fired the summer, in the
Okay.
summer.
But not mid-season.
No.
Okay.
Not midseason.
The real Duke texts in, good morning, team. Eddie 89 needs his wheelbase shortened. He ain't breaking 90.
87, baby.
I thought we said it at
No, it was 87.
87?
It was 87.
Oh, I
Well,
guess
who's this saying I ain't breaking 90? Who is this?
this is the real Duke.
The real Duke.
Yeah.
Meet me at the bike racks, buddy. Breaking 90. What kind of chump do you think I am? I'm living in the high 80s now.
This guy's living rent free in your mind.
We might need to create a new scoring system for that's called the Eddie Index, where his scores, but then they need to be properly adjusted for all the necessary accommodations.
Duke. Just worry about your slice. Keep it straight.
Well, I'm not the one out here making bold claims and proclamations. You just called me a chump because I'm a 90. I shoot a 90. I'm just out here putting my best foot forward. Everybody can just do the best they can, Eddie. That's all it's about.
Okay, Montana and Rice. What's Eddie's best score and where was it? And now we want a truthful score.
Best ever in my life. It was a couple of years ago. I believe it was 82 or 83. I don't remember now. It was 82 or 83. Victoria. Very easy. Not easy, but easier
Sure it wasn't
shooting.
Kinsman?
No, it was Victoria. No, which one's Victoria?
Victoria's
Ri-
right down in
Riverbed.
River Valley, yeah.
No, but there's the Riverbed.
Riverside.
Riverside.
Eddie, you would have shot it at Victoria. It's a much easier track than Riverside is.
But I don't think it was there, dude. I think it was Kinsman.
Kinsman, the pitch and putt.
No. It was
the executive course.
It was the one on the east side of the river, just on the other side of the Blue Bridge.
Yeah,
I think that's Riverside.
That's Riverside.
Yeah, it was there.
Okay.
It was at Riverside.
Okay.
Yeah.
HVAC Nick says Eddie living in the high 80s, but what's his score when he adds the back nine? Guys are on him. Guys are on him. They're on him. They're on you, Eddie.
Treating me like I'm Kevin Karius over here.
That's respect, Eddie. Nail says Wallman should be with Murphy. Stastny Nurse would be concerning just because Stastny's young, need Emberson back. Yeah, that's the one thing that we haven't heard much with regarding Emberson. His availability here. So
I like Murphy. I like him, man. He's strong.
This is Eddie right here. Northside Norm says that he golfs like a small town corner store at 11 p.m. Can never break 100.
That's a good
Justin,
one.
Eddie is a 90 shooter for life.
No, man, no. Married to the game, baby. High 80s.
High 80s. Oh man. But it's funny. I watched a lot of the TPC this weekend and as we were saying on Friday, I think this was the first, and Thursday too, the first real time that a guy got the real itch to go. And we're less than a month. Well, not less, about a month.
Yeah, we're right about a month.
About a month.
Yeah.
Well, a month and some.
That
There's still a
first,
lot of
remember
snow on
our
the ground.
first round ever together when you got me with the old armed
Yeah,
robbery?
yeah.
How chilly it was that day. We were fighting it. Remember that, Duke? At Sandpiper?
Oh, it was so windy. It's like
Like, what are we doing out here, guys?
It was impossible to hit a ball straight depending on, and that's like my slice always goes over there anyway. And then on certain holes is like goodbye, never see it again because it was brutal. That might be some of the biggest wins I've ever played in.
We'll be at it again here in a month.
But guess what? I still had fun because I was amongst friends.
Yes, the boys.
Chucky Slick brought that $300,000 car into the parking lot.
Yeah, I thought, who's this big dog with Duke?
Parked it right by the door.
Yeah, parked it. Then Eddie trying to get the windshield
down. And then Eddie's vandalizing the cart.
I busted the cart.
So what happened when you went in there? You just said, okay, I broke the wind and I'm going to give you some product or what?
I said I broke the windshield. I left a little note and I handled it with the super. Did some business on the back end.
Really?
Yeah, because that's a $500 hit, man. Yeah, I was embarrassed. First time golfing with the legendary KK. I just break the cart window, shattered it.
Well, you were, a little bit of power there, and you were just trying to get it down.
Down, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Or was it down?
I think it was down, yeah, and I pushed right through the plexi.
It was probably broken before.
Cracked right through
probably
it.
Bust before. I haven't had a sniff at In or Out yet, have you?
No, we're going into a cold and raw, KK.
Cold. I just look at oh boy, National Clean Out Your Closet Week, Eddie.
Oh my goodness.
How dirty would your closet be?
Not very dirty. I'm pretty clean, dude.
Okay, do you guys have a separate closet, you and Steph? Or
no, but I have my own little
what?
Little
drawer?
space.
So how much?
It's a big closet and I have a little space.
So okay, if she's got 80% of the closet, you got like 20?
Yeah, right. That's actually 80-20.
Really?
That's a good percentage right there.
Wow.
Can you see my dress clothes? I got a good amount of dress clothes, but they're all hanging in this one corner.
Well, that's not
Sad.
impressive.
It's sad.
When we come back, we'll go In or Out with Eddie Steele on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, presented by Sports Select. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Getting in on the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Then sit back, watch the game, grip your chair, and high-five anyone nearby. Every bet is 100% legal with the chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Divorce is never easy, but Fairway Divorce Solutions can help.
Their clear step-by-step process addressed all our issues, and we moved through the process quickly.
Fairway didn't take sides. They saved us money and heartache.
My ex, the kids, and I feel like we'll all be okay.
At Fairway Divorce Solutions, trained mediators and in-house lawyers will move your divorce process forward in a professional and efficient manner to achieve a fair resolution and separation agreement. Visit fairwaydivorce.com.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. And yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the Postgame Show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
What's some non-Nissan drivers here?
Soul-crushing flurries today with a low of making you cry.
What Nissan drivers here?
It's looking absolutely perfect out there.
Don't fear the forecast. Get an all-wheel drive Nissan Rogue and get up to $4,500 cash purchase bonus on select new 2026 Rogue models. Built, tested, and trusted to conquer Canada's harsh winters. Visit your local Nissan dealer today or nissan.ca for details. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
This year, instead of a short winter getaway from the cold, what if you took a permanent winter getaway from your hair loss? Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, inviting you to come plan your winter transformation. I've helped thousands of Edmonton men and women get their hair and their confidence back. Many of them preferred the winter. Cooler temperatures are great for recovery, and winter hats can keep everything discreet. Trips are nice, but this winter, choose to invest in your vessel. Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 841 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele with you. Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on a Monday morning. So glad you could spend some time with us here on Sports 1440 AM radio. Time now for In or Out, brought to you by Pro Solutions. If you need fast air conditioning service, this is the place to be. Pro Solutions offers expert repairs, tune-ups, even installs with flexible financing. Book your appointment now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or are you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
All right, Duke, let her buck.
Edmonton Oilers returning home last night and pick up a 3-1 win over the Nashville Predators. Oilers are now 4-2-1 in the month of March, have allowed 3 goals or less in 4 of their last 5 games. The current level of confidence in this team's defensive game should be a 6.5 out of 10.
6.5. Hey, Duke.
It's a good number.
Went into the decimals for this one,
Wow.
digging deep.
What if it's 6.8? I don't know.
I was going to go 6-7.
Oh, wow.
For the kids.
That's right.
I think
all
it's
of our
6-9.
oh yeah, of course, Eddie.
Yeah, you would.
You deviant.
6.5. Yeah, sure. I think there's some work to be done here yet, but it's trending in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get rid of the Dallas game, and you're talking pretty decent performances. Especially with some difficult opponents, but the Dallas game got out of hand, got away from them quickly, and it was done. So yeah, I'll go 6.5 out of 10. Current level of confidence. Still some work to do for sure.
Yeah, I like 6.5. I want to kind of go higher because they have been playing a strong team defensive game. Their PK has been really solid, but then I'll stick at 6.5 just based off the opponents they've been playing. Like St. Louis, they're not an offensive juggernaut. Nashville, not a juggernaut. Good teams, but not juggernauts offensively. So you saw what Dallas did to them.
We'll see what happens tomorrow. Like if you could hold San Jose to 3, because San Jose can put the puck.
They can
in
put
the
them
net
put it
times,
up. You did a great job against Colorado. with a McKinnon-less third period, but still not enough to sell me to go higher.
Yeah, but both St. Louis and Nashville in particular, they're bottom half in terms of goals for per game on the season. And actually, if we're honing in a little bit more of a more recent sample size since the Olympic break, all three of these most recent opponents, St. Louis, Vegas, and Nashville, they come in at 17th, 19th, and 21st in goals per game. So it's a little bit of a target. But then you talk about the Avalanche, of course, they're up at number 8 since the Olympic break, and the Sharks are right behind them at 3.3 per game. So I think tomorrow and to be honest, the rest of this week, when you talk about games against Tampa Bay later on, and Florida, of course, who there's always something to play for, even if the Panthers aren't necessarily in the hunt super intensely. Strong rivalry. So by the end of this week, I'd be very willing to bump this number up, but right now I'm still in build on it a little bit more. I'm not ready to bring them in a whole room full of flowers, but give credit where it's due that they have certainly shorted up here in the last stretch of games, going back to the anomaly of the Dallas Stars and that bombarding that they got. So Leon Draisaitl left the game last night after the first period, did not return, and it does appear like he is going to miss some time. How much time is still to be determined, but in his absence, I think it is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the player the Oilers most need to elevate and pick up the slack of one of the league's very best not being in the lineup.
So, and you're just saying because you feel that he would go to 2C?
I do.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't even say that because we talked quite a bit this morning already about this new look line of Dickinson, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Jack Roslovic. All three of those guys can play center. Yeah. And I wonder if we might see a little bit of a dispersion of talent that has almost like two lines that are almost 3.5, like neither are bona fide second line options for how they decide to deploy this group of 6 players or not. But I think the obvious choice is that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins would slide up and play some more minutes, probably some tougher matchups, and we'll see maybe who his line mates would be in the process.
I see where you're coming on from that. You could just basically call RNH Dickinson and Roslovic line number 2, and then throw in like Szymanski or like that's Szymanski, Kapanen, and Podkolzin as line number 3, and then figure out who your, obviously Szymanski goes from 4 to 3. Then you got to figure out who your winger is going to be there with Henrique and Frederick. So I wouldn't be surprised if they keep those guys together. Yeah. RNH, Dickinson, and Roslovic. Make that line number 2. Szymanski can go between Kapanen and Podkolzin, and then figure out your fourth line. So,
yeah, I don't hate that notion at all, Kevin.
Yeah. But again, like he's one of the guys for sure at the top of the list that will have to generate a little bit more offense with Leon out if he's out for any length of time.
Yeah, I'm in on that too. I'd like to see RNH step up. I mean, it's not like he has had an unproductive season, but there's always room for a little more improvement in the game. And he adds so many key components to different areas of the game. But when you look at losing the Leon for some time, the big dogs always have to step up, and Nuge is considered a big dog.
Connor Ingram picked up the W last night, stopping 26 of 27 shots in the victory. And over the weekend, essentially confirmed by Chris Knobloch that he is the team's starting goaltender, and the starts will be allocated as such. This is no longer a tandem. This is not a split duty type thing. Connor Ingram is the number 1 on this team. 14 games remaining on the Oilers schedule. Only one back-to-back left between now and the end of the regular season. I think Connor Ingram is going to start 10 of the remaining 14 games.
Go ahead, Eduardo.
10 of 14. Yeah, I'll be in. I'll be in on this. I could see this playing out that way, Duke. The team, like it or not, they play better in front of him, and he provides that confidence behind them that he's going to be a sure goalie and not going to give up that back-breaking goal that we've seen so often out of this club. So, yeah, I'll be in.
The only thing that concerns me is, past history with workload. And he's only had one season in the NHL where he was the de facto number 1 goaltender. That was back in Arizona in 23-24, where he played 50 games. So he's had and everyone knows about everything that he's had to deal with to get back in his headspace to where he is now. So, and that's remarkable. And again, how many times did we say when he signed, let's just worry about, being healthy, being in a good space,
navigating it.
Yeah. For the most part, it looks like he's been able to cross that bridge right now.
His confidence has to be at an all-time high.
Well, I think it would have to be, and especially when a coach says something like that. I like the fact that, as Duke mentioned, there's just the one back-to-back. I could see it. Like if he plays like he's playing right now, then it's I'm in 10 out of 14, and it could even be more.
And I think it goes without saying that the way that Tristan Jarry does play once he gets back in, because we know he is going to play again at some point. Now, does he continue to work on things in practice, stay in late, as backups always do?
Mm-hmm.
And does he work himself out of this funk that he is so obviously entrenched in? And all of a sudden he's like, all right, maybe we can spot him an extra couple starts down the stretch and presumably keep Connor Ingram fresher for the beginning of the playoffs, that the way things are trending right now continue forward. That could obviously happen, but based on the most recent evidence we have, we should be banking on it, right? And I think in this, what's going to be a continued hunt for a division title and trying to give yourself some home ice advantage to the first few rounds of the playoffs, however you want to justify it. This team has a lot to play for down the stretch, right? Let alone actually securing the playoff spot itself, which is far from a lock right now. You got to lean on your number one guy. And it's been a rough go for Connor Ingram in the past, but he's clearly feeling it right now. And I think they're going to give him the reins to run with them for as long as he's able to hold on. So jumping over to the NBA, league is set to have its first vote on potential expansion at next week's Board of Governor meetings. Essentially, the way I read it to be is that you need 23 of 30 teams to vote in favor over two different levels of voting. And the teams that are the cities that are on the table to then open bids and start taking fielding calls is Seattle and Las Vegas. And when you look at the numbers that would be on the table here we talk about the last time the NHL expanded and what the price was. Yeah, essentially times it by 6 or 7. 7 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
$7 to $10 billion is the range for what the expected market would cost to add an expansion team. I don't see any way that the other owners around the association vote that down. We're going to see Seattle and Vegas playing in the NBA in the 28-29 season.
Too much money to turn down. Because, Duke, just to piggyback on your last point, tell the listeners why you don't think that any club would turn that down.
Because it's split amongst them.
Exactly.
That's where all the money goes.
There you go.
We talked about that with the NHL and stuff. Like
the owners share that money.
I mean, like for Daryl Cates, depending on what that expansion fee would be, we're talking, in your pocket. And the players wanted to get a piece of this in the NHL. The owner said, not a chance. And, you're looking at anywhere between $30 and $45 million.
Because Vegas, the Golden Knights were $500 million originally, right, Kev? Yeah. And Seattle was slightly above that. And then we obviously saw the huge tag for Utah to come in. In Utah, that was free for the rest of the teams because they didn't even have to give up a player.
Right.
And because it wasn't treated as a relocation, it was treated as an expansion team that Ryan Smith and his company bought in on.
So it's almost like going to be a double dip when Arizona or Phoenix comes back into the league.
100% is going to be for the rest of the league. And you're talking about now, NBA rosters are way smaller. So does it even work out? I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and maybe check out previous expansion. Because last time they did was 2004. Does every team lose a player?
Yeah.
I guess for two teams, maybe that would be the case. But you're losing one player, and you're going to get hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe, how come you didn't name Vancouver into that?
Because they're not on the table. I get, and here's the thing. Joke. As soon as we get this confirmed, then the next question immediately becomes, all right, where do they go next? Because the way sports and the revenue continues to grow.
But don't you think that, so they would be, that gives them 32 teams with 2 expansion, correct?
Yep.
So.
Hey, that's what we kind of thought about the NHL, but we're already talking about where they're going to go next to 34.
Can't deny the dollars.
The only league that seems against it is the NFL, which they don't have any reason to, I guess. And there is a conversation about the talent pool already being pretty watered down as it is. And that's across the board for all sports. The same can be said about the NBA and the NHL, I think. So it's interesting to see where the line gets drawn about how many teams do continue to get added.
Should mention that some pig team has got 7 wins in a row now, Duke.
Pig NBA team?
Yeah.
The Orlando Magic?
Yeah, Duke's team. The Orlando Magic.
Duke knows how to pick
They've moved a half game ahead of the Raptors.
The Raptors had a huge win over the
Detroit,
Pistons yesterday. Obviously, they've been fighting it lately, and to get a win over the league's best, or the East best, excuse me, certainly a good feather in your cap. But we can wrap up today with National Clean Out Your Closet Week. couple real fashionistas in the room here, and Kevin Karius. He dialed it back today a little bit, but that's still a pretty snappy shirt.
What about me? Am I a fashionista?
Well, obviously,
am I the other?
Your mauve
You've
tie.
gone downhill the last couple weeks.
Mauve.
That's why you should have came in with that mauve.
Your
outfit today.
waiter look with the black dress shirt and the silvery white tie.
That's just
as Spec called it. I think he looks fine, but Spec's the one that called you out on that going back.
Haven't wore that combo since.
Got to you.
2 years ago.
Eddie clearly is a guy that really takes things to heart.
Rattled
that
me.
That are said to him.
Haven't wore it since.
I think an appropriate amount of clothing to have is enough that you can essentially go a couple weeks without doing laundry. 2 weeks. And then
controversial.
The caveat here is that certain people, and depending on what you do for work and stuff, you wear different things. Like for me, I have a whole rack of dress clothes and stuff that I don't wear very much anymore. Kevin's got 10 times as many that he also doesn't wear as often anymore now that he's not in front of the big screen. We're on the small screen now. So my closet is mostly just like t-shirts and jeans and stuff, but realistically I'm doing laundry every couple weeks because I run out of socks and underwear.
So that's just it.
You just turn them inside out?
Yeah. Thankfully I've never quite come to that bridge. Need to cross it.
Do you have 2 weeks worth of undies? Because I don't think I do.
I think so.
I probably have.
I don't have a hard count on them right now, but I think so.
Do you, KK? I don't think I have 2 weeks of undies. I have a ton of socks.
How do you want me to answer this?
How many pairs of underwear do you own, Kevin?
That's exactly it.
You ever see that Seinfeld?
Over or under 14?
Have you ever seen that Seinfeld episode, Duke?
Oh, that one.
The only thing between him and us is a thin layer of gabardine. I'm out there, Jerry, and I'm loving every minute of
it. Dude, that's what he said. Kevin's out here commando. You don't have underwear, is what you're saying.
I haven't. Maybe this is bad to say. I've never ever. Since I was probably 17.
Seriously,
16, probably for 40, at least 40 years.
Seriously,
that's insane.
You are insane. Really, you're not rocking undies.
He's just freebirding it all the time. That's wild.
That is wild.
This might be the biggest revelation that we've ever.
What if you're you got
the biggest news break this show has ever had? Just came across at the end of it.
So I need to clarify. Like, whenever you go pee, do you never have like droplets that sometimes get on your pants?
Well, I'm not saying it's never happened.
Kevin's never in a rush.
You be careful,
Yeah, you give a good shake.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, why are we talking about this, man?
Because it's National Clean Out Your Closet Day and you go up commando everywhere.
So I can honestly say I don't have one pair.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. That is wild.
I didn't think it was that. I'm sure there are many other people.
I don't
many
think
other
so,
men that
Kevin.
don't.
I've never heard
I don't know about many others.
Yeah.
They're out there. There's dozens of you.
Dookie says he doesn't have one pair.
Well, why are you looking at me like that, Josh?
Josh, Freebird man himself.
Josh.
Can't
talk.
That is wild, Kevin.
I'm shocked.
Never.
I'm color me shocked.
Yeah, it's probably again. I guess when I was probably younger, I had boxer shorts.
Yeah.
But I've never worn the tighty whities.
Like Laura has never gotten you a pair of
never
briefs.
mentioned anything.
Crazy.
Never
got briefs or nothing for a gift.
No,
that is
wow.
That would come across, at least I would think, as shocking to say your wife or girlfriend. It's just like just jeans off and there it is, just everything. There's no second barrier.
Have you ever got caught in a zipper?
No.
Oh Lord.
Button fly.
You do not only have button flies.
No, I have some other zipper ones, but listen, it's to me, this is normal.
Yeah.
So
I
like even when I golf, say when I golf, the times that we've golfed together.
Dang, Duke, and we're shaking hands after 18.
What is the difference with that? That makes no sense, Eddie. So getting back to the question. 2 weeks.
Yeah, but Kevin probably has a huge walk-in closet. That it's everything you said, Eddie, about how in your closet with Steph is like you have the tiny little corner that's flipped for Kevin's house.
Yes.
Well, we have our own, Duke.
It's two separate ones, his and hers.
Separate, yeah. Laura has
and I
hers.
don't know if you've seen the house, Duke, but he's got those 14-foot ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
Big closets.
So I use actually a ladder too for some stuff up top.
I believe it.
But
no, I would. How big is your step ladder? 5 steps?
Just 2.
Just 2. Just to get the stuff up top, Duke.
And then there's a drawer, and then there's a thing for the ties.
You have a watch drawer?
No, I don't wear a watch. I tell by the sun, like Kramer.
Oh goodness! Tell by the sun.
I can tell by the sun.
And you know what the next line after that is, Duke? Well, what do you do at night? Well, I'm off by a couple hours.
I think not wearing any underwear has something to do with that. He can just feel that heat, dude.
He's like Mac Hollins.
Yes,
no shoes walking into the stadium. He just feels more in touch with the earth. He's closer to it. There's less separating him from nature, right? Eddie, people like you and I, normal folks, we've got several layers separating us from the elements.
The elements.
Not Kev.
So
just one layer of gabardine.
What we learned today is Kevin Karius does not own a pair of underwear. He does not wear them.
One pair.
Not a pair.
What a nut.
You know what? Here's another thing, Eddie. You know when you buy the shorts and say they would be the workout shorts, and they have the the inside part is like the skin tight that I don't know what spandex or whatever it is. I can't even wear those.
Too tight.
Yeah, I just like to have them.
Do you wear a cup when you play?
Oh yeah.
Does that feel tight?
Yeah, but Kev's probably, if I've learned anything in this conversation, he's like the old school, the movies where it's just like the literal jock strap.
No.
That's it. And he's just walking around the dressing room with that. Cheeks out.
Honestly,
Cheeks
Duke,
out for the boys.
I truly wouldn't be shocked if he wore thongs.
Oh, stop it. I'll have to tell you the story about Wendell Rederberg, who wore that thing, like the jock that you're talking about, Duke, back in the day. And it's a pretty funny story, but
thing was falling apart. One thread to it.
No. It's nothing like that. So I guess 2 weeks is the limit or what?
Yeah, I'm going to be out on that. I'm going to be out. I have enough t-shirts and stuff. Also, Duke, are you re-wearing clothes? Like I'm a one and done guy.
Not
with
like
my clothes.
It's shirts, socks, underwear, obviously, of course, but like sweaters and jeans. Yeah, I'll fold them, put them back in the closet.
I'll wear them at home,
and then if you wear them once or twice, as long as they're not dirty, obviously, like stained or something, maybe throw them in the dryer, freshen them up with a bounce sheet or something.
See, the problem.
MTR says going out in -30 just with your denim and no underwear is insane. I've never had a problem.
Diabolical.
I have no problem.
You're well versed with shrinkage.
Well, you're telling me that if you have a little pair of shorts on, that it's going to make a big difference when you go out -30?
Mm-hmm.
It helps.
It's all about heat escapability, Kev.
I don't know. Again, I got a lot of respect on the text line.
Do you?
Well,
I don't know about that.
He said respect.
Matt Leduc says in or out took on a whole new meaning this morning.
For real.
Oh man. Hey, at least I'm honest.
Yes,
and
I appreciate
and I'm
that.
comfortable with myself.
I appreciate that.
Clearly, and like when you came over, Eddie, and the tarp was off that day in the backyard,
yeah, buddy. Yeah, tarp's always off.
That's right, and
he is comfortable with himself, Duke.
What's cooking today, Eddie? You're going on to do a little Elks Nation?
Yeah, gonna go down, meet up with Deck here at about 9:30.
So I wonder what he'll say about the selection Sunday. I think he'll
have a lot. He'll have a mouthful.
You think he'll be happy with it? I don't know. Like who's his team? I don't even know.
Yeah, who would Deck's team be, fellas? Syracuse fan? Yeah. So we'll see. He's pretty knowledgeable.
That's right, iMac. KK spends all his money on these shirts. Can't afford Gotch.
This is interesting.
Yeah. Dave Platten. KK's got a couple of clubs swinging on the golf course.
That
was a good one. I never expected it to go that way, though. Yeah.
No.
I'm sure that this will be a question down the road.
I did not put this question in with the intention of the conversation taking this direction. But
I do appreciate the honesty.
That's the nature of this show sometimes.
No. My mom just texted
me. What'd she say?
I don't know. It's probably something that
I need to know.
Marilyn Monroe didn't wear underwear either, my mom says. Oh, thanks, Mom. I appreciate that.
Wow, a true mom right there. That is a true mom.
I remember even at 15, not buying any, and they were like, what? I don't know.
Man. Free bird.
Well, good show, Eddie. Have a great week. You got anything special planned?
Nothing crazy, actually. Going to be going down with the Double E alumni on Thursday, touring the Ronald McDonald House.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just some things in the work there potentially. So that'll be interesting to see.
Oh,
outside of that, man, just grinding.
Yeah. Just grinding.
Yeah. Yeah, grinding. I want to get the thought out of my mind, but I can't.
Why?
That you don't own a pair of underwear.
So I'm going to be this week, the next time that we are all playing hockey together or something, now you guys are going to be waiting for me to gear down. Just to make
no.
You are. I can just see it, Eddie.
Eddie the bird watcher all of a sudden.
Oh, man. I'm not a watcher. I'm not a watcher.
Oh, man. Good stuff, Eddie. We'll see you on Friday, buddy.
Take care, boys.
Eddie Steele, Grey Cup champion from 2015, all-decade team in both the CFL, the Double E, and U Sports. In the 9 o'clock hour, we've got a fair bit to get to be honest with you, and it should be fairly exciting. We'll check in with Kristen Shilton from ESPN, but also I should mention in the 10 o'clock hour, Austin Mock, who, again, every time I see Austin Mock, and he's been on several times, he's with The Athletic. Now I'm thinking, okay, Austin Mack from the Double E. So very similar, and you're always going to kind of make sure that you get the two of them going on the same with intros and things like that, because we're going to have Austin Mack on a lot here coming up in the next bit, the new receiver for the Double E. And then Landon Ferraro, our Sports 1440 pre- and post-game analyst here. Game days for your Edmonton Oilers. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand, high quality promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca. That's Fusion with a Z. Here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers returned home last night, take down the Nashville Predators 3-1 from Rogers Place. Connor McDavid, 3 assists in the victory. Connor Ingram stopping 26 of 27 in the win. Leon Draisaitl left the game after 20 minutes and did not return. 5 of the games around the NHL. St. Louis falling to the Winnipeg Jets 3-2. Sens stay hot with a 7-4 win over the Sharks. Ducks come back, beat the Habs 4-3. Maple Leafs double up the Wild 4-2. And the Kraken top the Panthers 6-2 in the nightcap. NHL GM meetings taking place down in Florida, and Pierre LeBrun, among others, reporting that the league is expected to announce its World Cup of Hockey plans today following the conclusion of those meetings, expected to go in February of 2028. Edmonton Oil Kings lose in Calgary last night, 3-1 at the hands of the Hitmen, and in the association, 7 games, including the Raptors, beating the first-place Pistons 119-108. Elsewhere, OKC gets past the Timberwolves 116-103, and the Knicks top Golden State 110-107. From the World Baseball Classic, the United States beat the Dominican Republic to advance through to their third final of the event, 2-1. Roman Anthony and Gunnar Henderson both homering in the win. And finally, from Langley yesterday at the U Sports Championship, the U of A Pandas volleyball team take home their 8th national championship in program history with a 3-0 set sweep of Sherbrooke. Coming up in hour 3 of the Kevin Carey Show, we'll be joined by Kristen Shilton from the NHL on ESPN. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Welcome to Silent Ice Center, the region's newest hockey and event center in Nisku. Featuring 2 NHL-size ice surfaces, premium seating, private suites, and an electric atmosphere. From elite hockey to major tournaments, concerts, and special events, this is where the action lives. And with Summit Restaurant overlooking the ring, every event is a full experience. Silent Ice Center, built for champions, built for the community. Book your ice, your event, or your next big night at Silent Ice Center. Email booking@silenticecenter.com.
Business owners, if rising electricity costs are cutting into your profits, there's a smarter way forward. Right now, federal clean technology tax credits can cover 30 to over 50% of the cost of a commercial solar system, delivering an immediate return on your investment. And in Edmonton and Sturgeon County, the Commercial Clean Energy Improvement Program offers long-term financing for up to 20 years, making solar more affordable than ever. Lock in lower energy costs for decades and strengthen your bottom line. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com to get started.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
This jersey was worn by the legend himself, signed and everything. You can't just wear it. I'm framing it with expressions and images.
Your prized jersey deserves better than the closet. Think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the Postgame Show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Ah, yes, Alberta in March. Green beer and slushy roads. Where the only thing worse than the roads is trusting them. If your brakes are squealing louder than a pub on game night, or your shocks feel like they found potholes instead of a pot of gold, it's time to go to Napa Auto Parts. With over 85 locations in Alberta, Napa has the quality parts, tools, equipment, and know-how to keep your ride smooth and feeling confident. More than lucky. Visit your local store today or visit online at napacanada.com. That's Napa Know-How.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 9/11 in Edmonton, the Kevin Karius Show, presented by Sports Select. It's so easy to play. All you got to do is visit sportselect.com, generate the QR code, check the how to play videos, step-by-step instructions. It's 100% legal. You got to be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Sportselect.com. Adam Schefter reporting that the New York Jets have traded quarterback Justin Fields to the Kansas City Chiefs. Pending a physical. Other teams were interested, according to Shefty, but Fields wanted to go to KC. And just the fact about Patrick Mahomes, where he's at with the injury that he suffered mid-December and the surgery, this is, a fallback and maybe something that can be utilized in off-season workouts, etc., exhibition, preseason games, and things like that once Mahomes is deemed fit and ready to go. But it gives them a little bit of a fallback, some veteran presence coming from the Jets. He had it's a 6th-round pick going the other way. So he had 11 total TDs, 1 pick last year. And this was a guy, Duke, that was, he was going to be, he was drafted to be the quarterback of the Chicago Bears forever. And then obviously Caleb Williams became available to them. And it ended up to be that it wasn't his team anymore. But, man, you think about how things go now, you're just, the value is a 6th-round pick. And it just gives Kansas City a little bit more depth. So the Jets, what do they got? Like now, do they have anything left, Duke? In
players?
Yeah.
They got Geno.
Oh, yeah, it's Geno. I forgot about that. That's
Geno's
right. Sorry.
back.
Yeah. Why did I forget about that? So Geno Smith. Wow. Fair. How do you think he's going to do?
Terribly. I think the Jets are the worst team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
There were some contenders to be in that spot with them, but I think what the Titans and the Raiders in particular did from a talent perspective and free agency. Now, the Jets are going to have a lot of draft capital. We know that, right? But At a certain point, rookies are great, and you want to get those to build towards the future, but you also need real veteran players. And the Raiders and Titans spent a lot of money in free agency to go and make their rosters better. And I think it will be pretty reflective. I think the Jets, as of right now, I would say they're probably going to be the worst team in the league next year.
Oh. And that sets them up to get a quarterback in 2027, correct? Yeah. What could you imagine if, let's just say they were last, and I don't know if Arch Manning is projected to be number one. A lot of people have him at 2027 to be at the top of the class.
Close
maybe
to,
not
anyway,
whatever.
yeah.
What if all of a sudden it goes, because it happened with Eli. I don't want to go to play for the Jets. You imagine?
That would be pretty devastating. Now, the early forecast is that next year is going to be a pretty quarterback-rich
2027,
draft, compared to this year where we might see a second guy go in the first round after Mendoza is expected to go number one, like Ty Simpson maybe in the back half of the first round. Beyond that, I would be shocked if anybody else has made enough waves to climb rankings. So, yeah, I don't...
not saying it would happen, but I mean...
So do you think that this is it for Aaron Glenn then too? Like he coaches out the string this year and then 2 years fired, they bring in a new coach to pair with who they are hoping will be the new franchise QB?
I don't know.
It's what we see a lot.
Like we're looking at the worst franchise going right now.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
What about Atlanta? I mean, Wilkinson said it was...
that I found those comments interesting when you read them out, because the Falcons, they are a team that that like Arthur Blank is the owner, and he has shown a pretty good dedication to, like, he's not afraid to spend money. He puts it out there. Now, is he maybe a bit of a meddling owner? I don't know. I'd have to maybe look back and do some more digging on that. But the biggest thing I took away from that, Kev, he's saying this, it's a brand new regime.
Well,
right? Like Matt Ryan's the new president.
I get it, but I think he was sort of calling out the players. He called out Pitts. He called out Mooney.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, he called out Pitts, called out Mooney. Maybe there's something going on with what happened with Cousins. Maybe that's on top of mind for him, but I don't know. Duke was mentioning, too, that the NHL GM meetings are on the go down in Florida, and we'll have Kristen Shilton. I don't think she's down there, is she, Duke?
I don't believe so, but I'm not.
She's been down to several of these events, but, they were talking about the World Cup of Hockey and exactly the announcements that are going to be front and center there. But because it does have Alberta implications, because, Commissioner Gary Bettman was in Calgary, and there's a joint bid for the World Cup of Hockey to have games here and for Alberta to host it. By that time, in 2028, the rink, the new arena, the new facility in Calgary will be ready, and everyone knows what Edmonton has to offer. So maybe we'll get Kristen's point of view on that when we come back on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio, presented by Sports Select. We're also streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Mr. Rooter kinda speaks French.
Je m'appelle Monsieur Rooter. Je suis plombier.
Très bien, Mr. Rooter. Your name is Mr. Rooter, and you are in fact a plombier, a plumber. You are an excellent student.
Au contraire, mon frère. Je suis un excellent étudiant. Also, I'm not here for a French lesson. I'm here because someone clogged up the toilets?
Ah, oui, right this way. For a plumber who speaks your language, call Mr. Rooter.
Struggling to find skilled workers? What if you could fill your talent pipeline with motivated, pre-vetted youth and receive funding to support your efforts? At Careers the Next Generation, we connect Alberta employers with interns in skilled trades, IT, agriculture, forestry, and more. All WCB covered, high school accredited, safety trained, and ready to contribute from day one. With 83% of RAP students continuing their apprenticeships after high school, investing in youth today means securing your workforce for tomorrow. Don't wait. Visit careersnextgen.ca to get started.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the Postgame Show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 9:21 in Edmonton, and time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing. The plumber to call when the toilet mysteriously breaks after your jalapeno pepper popper fueled game night with the fellas. That's mrrooter.ca. As we welcome back Kristen Shilton from the NHL on ESPN. Good morning, Kristen. You're with Kevin Karius. As always, thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Kevin.
So good to talk to you again, Kristen. We got the GM meetings going down in Florida. There's some rumblings with the World Cup of Hockey, maybe possibly even coming to Alberta. What would be your thoughts on that whole premise of the possibilities there and what they're going to be looking at here in the near future?
Yeah, I think that we've just seen how fans engage with best on best hockey. And I think the league would be crazy not to try to maximize the opportunities for players to do that in as many ways as possible. I think Four Nations, especially, it was great, but you didn't have some of the best players like Leon Draisaitl should be playing in every single, every single event. Like those types of players need to be involved. So I think that what the league will be discussing in terms of what the next World Cup is going to look like, how are the teams going to, come together, and having it in Alberta, I think is would be just a great opportunity because they're obviously great fans out there. But then you've seen the way that World Juniors tournaments have succeeded there. You're going to get the fan support. And, I as someone who is based on the East Coast, I know there's a bias to how much, we tend to be catered to. So I would very much like to see it in Alberta, and selfishly give me a reason to come out and see your beautiful country too.
Yeah, absolutely, Kristen. Do you think is it 8 teams that they'd be looking at? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard 8. I've heard maybe only 6 or 7. You don't want, it really depends on the scope. And I think that that's what they're going to have to talk about at the meetings this week is just, you like an Olympics is obviously that's a ton of teams. But it's just, you have so much more sort of a runway to get there. And there's a lot of players that are already over there. And so there wasn't as much schematics that had to go into that from the league's perspective. Whereas if there's a World Cup, they're going to, there's just a lot that they would have to figure out in terms of, what effect it's going to have on the league schedule itself. How much time would you need for all of these players to get there? What sort of space is there for that? What's the infrastructure like, et cetera, et cetera. So 18 might be a lot. They might have to, maybe only go 6 or 7. But I think that the important thing is how they define the teams in terms of, like, is it a Team Europe situation? Is it like, how are you, where are they at with Russia, of course, and all of that. So I think it's more important that they figure out how the nations would be divided as opposed to saying we for sure want like X number of teams.
How much, depends on the situation with Russia, Kristen, here?
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge thing, right? I mean, it's obviously been going on for a long time. We've seen, certain, accommodations made for individual athletes, but in terms of a team itself, you would have to, first of all, get a timeline for the World Cup and then, I guess, assess, really what the political climate is like at that time, because, the NHL, they don't want to go out on a limb. They don't want to, go against the grain, especially in in that situation. So it would really depend on the timeline, but it would be a huge difference in the tournament itself, obviously, if Russia were to have a team, because you just know how many great players would be on it.
Yeah. Kristen Shilton with us from ESPN on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Connor McDavid had some comments about the Department of Player Safety. This after the Austin Matthews, Radko Gudas incident. Do you think anything will come about this? Will there ever be some sort of a review of the process that is already in place here, Kristen?
Well, the fact that a player of McDavid's caliber is willing to speak out about it, I think just puts that pressure on the league, because you can see the fan response was just overwhelmingly positive. And that's, I think, fans across the board. It wasn't like, oh, well, it was a Leafs player that, got hurt. So, it just seemed to resonate that this could be any star player. This could have been McDavid or Draisaitl, or could have been anybody if they don't start doing something where, why did Gudas only get a phone hearing? Why would, after looking at that play, you could say that doesn't deserve more than 5? Like, that is a problem in the process. And that given his history, there should have at least been the option to suspend him for longer than that by giving him an in-person hearing. And it just felt very I think the messaging and what I've heard from other players as well is just that they want to feel like the league cares about protecting them, and that's the most important thing. And so will there be a review? I think there has to be, because now it's being talked about, it's being written about, it's out there, and you're going to, if you're Gary Bettman, if you're George Peros, like, you are at these GM meetings this week, and there's going to be, cameras there saying what's going to happen. And so it's very well timed that this is the discussion that's happening right now, because you're going to have 32 GMs and, front office executives and commissioners there to talk about this right now. And it does put that pressure on them to say, this is what we will do to ensure that player safety is actually being taken into account. And it's not just about, we don't want great players out of the game for any amount of time.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, like with Connor McDavid being such a high profile player, the best in the game. So he has to carry a lot of weight, and there's got to be so many players that are right behind him to say that something needs to be done here.
Yeah. And it's not easy, I think, to be sort of that first guy. I think certainly the very strong statement from, his agent and Matthews' agent, Judd Voldover, really, it helps for the players, I think, to feel more empowered to speak up as well. And you want as many as possible, because safety, it just is the most important thing. And when you look at the league at large, you look at what happened to Sidney Crosby because of Gudas at the Olympics, and then you see Gudas come back, and it's just, if there's not enough consequence for players in those situations, in all of the situations, then it's going to impact the quality of the game itself. It's going to put players like Austin Matthews out of lineups. It's going to, cause injuries that, Matthews will be back next year, but what kind of lingering effect does this have on him? And the injuries that are preventable, there's accidental contact on the ice. There are things that happen in the course of a game, but that play wasn't one of them. And I think that there was intention there, and you could see it. And I think that's where the frustration was really coming from, was that this was clearly an intent not to make a hockey play. And that's what the Department of Player Safety needs to be weeding out with harsher consequences.
Yeah, what do you think happens when the Leafs play the Ducks here coming up in a few weeks here?
Oh man, yeah, March 30th. Circle that one on your calendars. That'll have us on the East Coast staying up late, I'll tell you. But you know what? I know that there was frustration, obviously, in the Leafs room that no one had stood up for Matthews, that no one had sort of come to his defense with Gudas. I would think that you want to just get it over with sooner than later. Like I'm thinking it's going to be like Dakota Joshua. It's going to be a Michael Pezzetta. Mm-hmm. You're dropping the gloves on the first shift and you're doing it because you have to. You can't let Gudas have even one shift without some sort of response. And he's a veteran. He knows that. He knows it's coming. And it really just, I think that it just comes down to which guy is going to step up. But you don't want it to become, a complete mess. You don't want it to be, taking over the entire game, but you want to send the message. You want to make your point, and then you move on. And, I think for the Leafs, knowing that there's no postseason for them this year, it makes it a little bit easier to not have Matthews, but still, it's a very frustrating situation for them, obviously.
So, in the Toronto-Buffalo market, what's the bigger story then, Kristen? Is it Toronto not, as you said, going to be making the playoffs? They're 10 back right now. Or is it the Buffalo Sabres and the remarkable season that the Sabres have had?
Well, Toronto is all about Toronto. You know that. It's always, they'd rather have a bad Leaf story than a good story about anything else. So, no, I think that the bigger story is, yes, Buffalo, just from a pure hockey perspective, that's great. That's great theater. That's great for the game. It's great for Buffalo, which is such a tremendous, tremendous hockey market. So that's a great story. But in Toronto itself, I think the bigger story is what happens next. Is this a scorched earth situation? What is salvageable? This is a team that doesn't have that, their future is here. Like everyone that they have in the pipeline is in the lineup. That's Easton Cowan. That's their younger, some of their younger players. It's Joseph Wall. I mean, even that's your next guy up. And you have Hill to be behind him. But you don't have a lot in the cupboards. And if this is where you're at, you're not making the playoffs with the roster that you have now, and there's nobody coming up behind them, and you didn't buy at the deadline, it just sort of suggests that there's going to have to be some sort of major retooling here for Toronto. And I think that that's the conjecture right now. That what everyone's talking about is, do you go full, like does Keith Pelly, the CEO of MLSE, does he come in and just say, you're out, we're starting again. This is 2015. We're going back to the drawing board here. Because I don't know that Toronto can pivot. Yeah. I don't know if they have enough pieces and enough runway to do that. So does that mean big off-season trades? Does that mean that, that's what they decide to do? That's the conversation here. And I think that it's one that is, really important to have, because this does feel like an important juncture for Toronto right now.
And as you said, Buffalo's the best story, the positive story. How much damage do you think that this Sabres team can do in the playoffs?
I have had the privilege of spending a lot of time in Buffalo, given my proximity. And I've gotten to see this group over the last 4 years really grow into itself to where you kind of knew that they could get here. And I truly believe that this Buffalo team at their best is capable of a long playoff run. And it's because of, it's a bunch of things. It was what this group lacked, I thought, wasn't about on the ice, it was always between the ears. And something about the switch from, Kevin Adams to Jarmo Kekalainen, it was like a switch flipped. And it was for Lindy Ruff. It was for this team. It just felt like whatever was holding them back, it just went away. And so now the talent could just shine. And they weren't overthinking it. There wasn't this pressure almost that they were trying to save Adams's job, or they were trying to save Ruff's job, or, you know, you're trying to compete in this division that had always had for the last, you know, it felt like 10 years, it had been like the Leafs and the Panthers and Tampa, and then everybody else, Boston. But now it was like their time. And somehow every bit of potential that I have seen them have at their best over these last 4 years is finally coming out. And so that's where I really do believe that they can go on a run, because just because they don't have the experience in the playoffs, I think sometimes that can be overrated. We've seen a lot of veteran teams get bounced in the first round, you know, and we've seen young teams be able to just sort of, you know, use that confidence and use that, you know, almost that naivete of, well, what's the worst that can happen? You know, we may as well just go out there and play our game and go for it. So I really like Buffalo's chances. I think there's just so much that's going right for them. But I also think that they're a group that appreciates it so much that they will do everything in their power to make the most of any chance that they get in the playoffs.
Kristen Shilton with us on Sports 1440. Do you think one of, or maybe both, Columbus and or Ottawa can sneak into the playoffs here?
One, absolutely. I like Columbus. I think that they're, you know, just on the defensive side, they might have a little bit more of an advantage. Maybe goaltending wise, Ottawa has the advantage there. I don't know which comes out in the wash, because I do think offensively they're pretty well, you know, they're pretty even. So it comes down to me of which team can sort of get the most out of their strength, which I think in Columbus, you're going to say your defense. In Ottawa, the difference there, I just think Allmark, you know, he's a veteran. He's a decorated goaltender. You know how good he can be, you know, compared with Merzlikins. And I just think there's one of those teams is going to get in. And I think it will be because of one of those two factors. And that's great, because I thought Ottawa making the playoff last year was good experience for them. And like Columbus, it's such a great team that has just fallen so short the last couple of years, like down to the wire. And it would just be great to see them get back in there and, you know, really take advantage of a Zach Werenski, who is just playing some phenomenal hockey. You see the way that, you know, Adam Fantilli is really starting to come into his own. And I like Columbus a lot. I think they have some great players that deserve a bit more attention. So if I had to pick one of the two, I would say Columbus, but it wouldn't surprise me if Ottawa got in there as well.
Yeah. One last one for you, just out west here. Do you think the Dallas Stars can catch Colorado for the President's Trophy after pretty well everyone said it was going to be the Avs in a runaway, but Dallas is playing so well, even with some key guys out. Can they catch the Avs?
You know, I've been watching the Avs lately, and I'm just kind of like, it's like they've lost their spark a little bit after those trades, and they really went all in, and it just hasn't clicked necessarily just yet. But absolutely, Dallas always surprises me, and I don't know why every year they surprise me, but it doesn't matter. They lose guys. They have to pivot. They have to, you know, they do what they have to do to really make a push. And I absolutely think Dallas can catch Colorado if Colorado, you know, continues to play the way that they are. I don't know what that means in the playoffs for either team, but I could see Dallas really just continuing to ride this wave. And you maybe wouldn't have expected it given where Dallas was, or I guess I should say given where Colorado was. But what I like about Dallas is just that they, you know, I think what they did at the deadline, just, you know, doing what they have to do to make those little changes, those little maneuvers, and they usually pay off in a pretty big way for them. So I think that Dallas is an exciting team. They definitely seem to have the swagger right now, the swagger compared to Colorado, which I wouldn't have said maybe a month ago, but never count out the Avs, especially with once they get going, get some chemistry, you know, they'll be right in it, but Dallas is not going to be denied either.
Well, again, when Rantanen and Hintz and Faxa come back, that gives them three pretty big bodies at the stretch run here. Kristen, as always, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the final lead into the playoffs. It should be some exciting races. Thanks as always for coming on.
Thanks, Kevin.
That's Kristen Shilton, NHL on ESPN. And our headliner of the day brought to you by Mr. Rooter, the number one overall pick in your fantasy plumbing pool. That's mrrooter.ca. Hey, when we come back, maybe we'll hear some Oilers postgame comments from last night. Matt Savoy spoke to the media. Connor Ingram spoke, as did Zach Hyman. Ingram was pretty solid again last night, just allowing the one goal, made 27 saves. Savoy scores, I guess, what is the game-winning goal. Beautiful setup from Connor McDavid, who had 3 assists as well. That's all coming up on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440 AM radio, presented by Sports Select. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Mr. Rooter kinda speaks French.
Je m'appelle Monsieur Rooter. Je suis plombier.
Très bien, Mr. Rooter. Your name is Mr. Rooter, and you are in fact a plombier, a plumber. You are an excellent student.
Au contraire, mon frère, je suis un excellent étudiant. Also, I'm not here for a French lesson. I'm here because someone clogged up the toilets.
Ah, oui, right this way.
For a plumber who speaks your language, call Mr. Rooter.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We're the #1 dealer in the world. Just kidding. If we were, would you care? We're the #1 dealer in Canada. Still kidding. You probably still don't care. Tell you what you will care about, our March Madness sale going on right now. Discounts up to $30,000. And the grand opening of our Autoplex, a massive indoor showroom. No self-proclaimed titles, no iPads, no trips to Vegas or hockey jerseys, just a really good deal. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Legacy Heating and Cooling sucks. Yeah, Legacy can now suck your ducts with professional duct cleaning, furnace cleaning, and dryer vent cleaning.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you need the filth sucked from your air ducts.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you want cleaner air for your family.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Legacy now offers air duct cleaning. Book in today. Just call Legacy.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
It's happened again, and construction season is coming soon. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Sports 1440.
All sports,
all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 9:43 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440. Oilers with a big 3-1 victory last night over the Nashville Predators, and the Predators are in Winnipeg tomorrow. So, the Jets need that one. They got to have that one if they have any hopes of maybe moving up the ladder in the Western Conference standings. But it was a good game by Connor Ingram, had 27 saves. Right now, Connor Ingram, and Duke had the question in or out about the amount of starts that he's going to get. And now you're assuming that the Oilers are going to have some success here. So tell me this, who had this on their bingo card that Connor Ingram would have the most wins of any Oilers goaltender this year? Tristan Jarry, Cal Pickard, I guess if you want to put Stu Skinner into that category too. But Ingram got his 10th win last night. So, I mean, he's going to, as Duke said, he had 10, of the 14 games remaining, 10 starts. So there's a decent chance that, he's going to pass Jarry in the wins category, and his save percentage is pushing towards 900. If it can, it's at 895. His goals against is at 270. Those are respectable numbers, and the Oilers can get by with that. They can get by with a close to a 900 save percentage. They can get by with a 2.70 goals against average. Those are the numbers that the goaltenders have put on, like within ballpark, put on the board here the last to a 900 save percentage. So there's an opportunity there for Connor Ingram to really take the bull by the horns. Following the game last night, Ingram had these post-game comments.
How good did it feel to kind of buckle down and victory can make all the game?
I felt good. I mean, it's almost the exact same game as we played in St. Louis too. It's just found a way to hold on to this one. So no, there's no lying. I felt good.
Chris said this morning that you're going to be in the starting role until something changes. Is that nice to have a little boost of confidence from your coach ahead of a game like this?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, having your coach behind you is huge, but at the end of the day, my job never changes. I'm going to come in and be the same person I've been for the last 3 or 4 months. So it's exciting for me, but at the end of the day, my job, like I've said 1,000 times, it's just stopping pucks. So it's the same thing every day.
Connor, the last 2 games as a team, your last 4 starts, 3-0-1. The team has limited the amount of high danger chances going long stretch. Obviously, it makes your job easier, but at the same time, going stretches where you're not really seeing a lot of rubber.
Yeah, it's different. I think that's part of playing here is you're going to go through stretches of that, or there's been games where the second half of games you only see a couple pucks through the rest of the day. So it's different, and it's something that you have to learn. But at the end of the day, just stop the puck.
Always really notice and appreciate defensive plays from certain people. What would you say about Matt Sahore's game on the defensive side of it and the things you notice as a goalie?
I think it's been great. I mean, as a young kid, that's not really what you expect out of young guys, but obviously he's learned, and he's a smart kid that knows how to get it done. I mean, I think you can put him in any role, whether you want to put him on the top line or the fourth line to shut guys down. I think he's a guy that has the ability to do whatever you ask him to. And in today's day and age, I think that's a huge asset to have.
When you have a game like you had in St. Louis where you're in control, and then all of a sudden you're not, to replicate the next game out and succeed, right? What's that worth to a team? What's that do for team confidence?
Just losing in overtime, not being in control. I mean, I don't think we trailed at any point in that game, but it's different. Like I was saying before, to be able to finish them off is huge, and I think that's what good teams do is you know how to win and you know how to finish games off like that. And I think that's a huge talent and skill to have, and something this group has. I mean, the success the last couple of years shows that, and that's something that comes with maturity and just being in the situation. So I think that's a great thing to have.
Your best year in Utah was when you were the starter. You got into a real rhythm. Obviously, every guy wants to play every second. Can you talk what's the benefit as you get into that rhythm, knowing you're the starter?
I think it's just the time in between them. You have a tough day or a good day, you don't have time to think about it. I mean, we'll practice tomorrow and then right back at it, whether I'll play on, whether that be Tuesday or not. I mean, it's just the repetition of it, and you don't have time to think about it. It's just going out there and doing your job, and it all turns into such a jumble that you don't really separate between game to game. It's just kind of go out there and do your job no matter what.
Connor Ingram, after his 27 save performance last night, picks up his 10th victory of the season. Got to mention, too, the play, and we didn't really talk about him this morning. Matthias Ekholm is really playing well right now. I mean, he leads the team with a plus 26 mark. Some people don't look at plus minus, but it's still a stat that comes into play. Ekholm with the 6 goals, got his 30th assist last night, and has just, I know, with the way Ekholm and Bouchard are playing, take away that Dallas game the other night, but those two guys have been absolutely, legitimate top pairing in the league. These two guys are playing at an exceptional level right now. And another guy that, that even Connor Ingram was talking about was Matt Savoy. Savoy picked up that second goal. Great feed from Connor McDavid yesterday. That made it 2-0 on the 2-on-1. Patience by McDavid you're sort of running out of time, but you're not, aren't you? Because at the time, you're going, well, okay, get it over. But excellent pass. And then that small little delay to make sure that you just go bar down by Savoy for his 11th of the season. He's got 16 assists, so 27 points. Let's be honest, if he stays up playing, with Connor here for the next little bit, 15 goals is, that should be a mark that you should be, having your sights set on. So, and maybe even a few more tucks than that too. Anyway, here were Savoy's comments following last night's 3-1 win.
When you're breaking up the ice with Connor McDavid, it looks like he's waiting for you to get into that lane. What are you thinking on that play?
Just bust as hard as I can and try and give him an option. And obviously he did a good job kind of selling shot and sliding over and to a pretty open net.
What's the reaction on the bench when a guy like Draisaitl goes down so early in the game?
Yeah, I think that lots of guys have to step up. And I think we have lots of guys in here that can play bigger roles and can fill in for when needed. So just looking at guys to step up.
Having an improved penalty kill has been a focus for this team, including with the deadline acquisitions. 4 for 4 tonight. Why do you think it was good tonight?
Yeah, I thought we were good on the pressure. I thought we didn't let them get set up in the zone too often. So I think not letting them get into their set and get their looks is big.
One thing to, be able to play lots of games and get some decent minutes in. It's another to be put in a spot on a top line next to a guy like Connor. What do you think has maybe come along in your game recently that's allowed you to fit there right now?
Yeah, I think just the consistency of it. I think in the first half of the year, there were stretches where, there's a couple good games, couple bad games, get a bunch of looks, and then, go cold for a little bit. But I feel like since the break or since, Christmas break, I feel like I've been more consistent game by game, just getting looks and playing a better, all-around game.
And, you have the puck a lot when you're playing on that line. What's the value of just the number of touches you seem to be getting right now?
Yeah, it just ups the confidence. I'm a player that likes playing with the puck. Like having it in my hands and being able to make plays with it. So having it as much as possible is obviously a big thing for me.
Just going back to Leon, I guess it's going to be an opportunity for other guys to kind of fill that role. You kind of relish that opportunity, trying to make the most of the extra minutes you may get.
Yeah, I think, obviously when it's a player like Leon, I think it's got to be a committee of guys that step up and fill different roles and really contribute to us having success, because this is a big part in our season. And, we really need to rally off some wins here and put ourselves in a good spot.
This team seems to have a little bit more fire to them in the last few games. Is that something in the room that you guys want to ratchet up in the final stretch?
Yeah, for sure. This is the most important time of season. So, I think the fire in here is there, and it's just continuing to grow, and we're continuing to find our game.
So Matt Savoy, big goal last night, turns out to be the game winner. And as Connor Ingram was alluding to, and we've discussed even over the course of the morning, Savoy he can play with Connor. He's fine there. He showed it. He has the ability to get some pucks, and he has the ability to create offense with an incredibly mind and gifted player in Connor. So how many times have we discussed the fact that it's not easy to play with Connor at times. You think it would be easy. Everyone says, well, a fire hydrant could score 20 with Connor. Sometimes there isn't that chemistry. Savoy has proved that he can play with Connor. He's proved that he can play with Leon Draisaitl, because when you think the game at a level where what Connor and Leon are thinking, you have that ability, you have that capability to, knife your way up and down the lineup. And even on the third line, think about that. There was times in the last little stretch where, if Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was one left wing, there were times if Podkolzin and Draisaitl and Kapanen were together, well, Savoy was down with Roslovic and Dickinson. So he has the ability to move up and down, and it's almost seamless for a player that is, again, he's a rookie player. So he's a young guy still trying to find his way. And he has proved to be a very valuable asset. And he is part of this team in a top 6 role for years to come, because they don't have a lot, that is down on the farm or anything like that that's going to be pushing him. He's got enough talent and pedigree from years past, whether he was in junior or wherever, where he was putting good numbers on the board. He's only going to get better. Text 833-401-1440. Oddball was texting in about Connor Ingram, and we mentioned his numbers. Oddball says the league average today is what, 896 and a 287. Well, if you think about where the numbers are for Connor Ingram, they're 270 and 895. So the Oilers can get by with goaltending. They don't need a guy to be standing on his head every night, because there will be the opportunities to create offense. They're that good. But you can't let the stinkers in. And if you come up with a big save every once in a while and you get a break, like again, Stamkos rings one off the iron there with a $1:15 left. Next thing you know, play reverses, goes down to the other end, and Zach Hyman scores the empty netter. So you need a little luck on your side as well. Hey, coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to shift gears. We'll talk a little NCAA basketball with Selection Sunday, and also the NFL. There's a few things to discuss with Austin Mock, who's a wizard at The Athletic. So many, like he's the king of numbers, percentages and things like that. Got a great article up with the percentages, possibilities with Selection Sunday, and all the teams, the top whatever ranked teams, and their possibility percentage-wise to move on from round 1, 2, 3, 4, moving forward. Also coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, Landon Ferraro, our pre- and post-game analyst here on Sports 1440 for Oiler Games. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update, brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding. That is awswelding.ca. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Five-game slate in the NHL tonight. The Flames are down in Detroit to play the Red Wings. Devils host the Bruins. Kings are at MSG against the Rangers. Stars take on the Mammoth. And the nightcap, Pittsburgh is in Colorado. NHL's general manager meeting is taking place down in Florida, and Pierre LeBrun, among others, reporting that the league is expected to make an announcement on the upcoming World Cup of Hockey following today's meetings. The event expected to take place in February of 2028. In the association, busy night with 8 games total on the slate, including Golden State and Washington, Boston hosting Phoenix, Dallas is in New Orleans, Houston takes on the Lakers, and San Antonio visits the Clippers in Southern California. World Baseball Classic second semifinal winner going on to play the United States. It'll be Venezuela versus Italy tonight. First pitch coming just after 6 o'clock. Coming up in hour 4 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Austin Mock from The Athletic, covering March Madness and the NFL, as well as former NHLer and Sports 1440 pre- and post-game analyst Landon Ferraro. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Getting in on the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Then sit back, watch the game, grip your chair, and high-five anyone nearby. Every bet is 100% legal with the chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
NHL Star Sticks are back at McDonald's, and we're celebrating by going bigger.
Make that smaller, way smaller than ever before.
Collect the set and get one of 7 mini sticks with every NHL Star Sticks meal. Featuring McDavid, Matthews, Quinn Hughes, McCarr, Celebrini, Reinhardt, and Montembeau. So get yours while they last. 1 stick per meal purchase. Limited time at participating Canadian restaurants.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
This year, instead of a short winter getaway from the cold, what if you took a permanent winter getaway from your hair loss? Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, inviting you to come plan your winter transformation. I've helped thousands of Edmonton men and women get their hair and their confidence back. Many of them preferred the winter. Cooler temperatures are great for recovery, and winter hats can keep everything discreet. Trips are nice, but this winter, choose to invest in your vessel. Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 10:01 in Edmonton. Excited to welcome in our regular contributor to talk a little NCAA basketball and some NFL as well. Austin Mock from The Athletic joins us now. Morning, Austin. You're with Kevin Karius once again. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 once again. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. Excited to talk some March Madness today.
Yeah, so I read your article last night. You kind of combined on it with Ryan Best on The Athletic, and the intricacies that you guys get into. It's just simply amazing, Austin. The hell of a job as always with all the stuff that you guys put in with as far as forecasting and things like that. Was it similar this year, different for you because it's such so many good teams at the top here? I'm just looking at your percentages, and it's not like there's one team that has the win probability that is like sky high compared to others that are ranked number one going into the 4 brackets.
Yeah, I think it's I think all 4 number 1 seeds are strong. We had this last year as well. All 4, they all made the Final Four last year. I think when you have that, no team can really separate itself. Mm-hmm. I think because Duke's the number 1 overall seed, a lot of people are thinking, and you'll see a lot of if you're filling out a bracket, they'll be way higher, like 30%. I just don't think that's realistic when you're talking about if they make it to the Final Four and they play any of these other 1 seeds. It's not that different. You're talking about 50-50 games at that point in a lot of them. So, and then you get down to the two seed line, Houston, Iowa State, and Purdue, I think are really strong teams. So I agree. I think a lot of people are saying it's 4 teams and then the rest. I don't think the 4 is separated as a lot of people want to separate them.
So when you run the numbers and put together all your charts and things like that, Austin, what comes into play here? What's the process to get where you're at with your finished product to start the tournament?
Yeah, so the inputs to my model, you look at I'm trying to predict how good you are on the offensive side and the defensive side. Very simple way to put it. But so I'm taking a bunch of different metrics: how good you are at rebounding, how good, how often are you blocking shots? Are you a good 3-point shooting team? How often are you shooting 3-point shots? So all these metrics go into it, and basically, it spits out a team rating, a power rating of sorts, and then the model is able to then run, when 2 teams play each other, how likely are they to win? And then from there, you have every possible matchup in the NCAA tournament. You just simulate all the rounds. We do it a million times. It takes about a minute to run that, and then we get all the percentages for each round, right? Like, it's not just who is to win it. Percentages make the Final Four, percentages make the Sweet 16, all that.
So the East, I think a lot of people or experts or pundits would say is going to be the toughest. Maybe just touch on that, where obviously Duke's number one, but man, it's not going to be an easy road for sure.
Yeah, St. John's being the 5 seed, I think, surprised people. I think people thought they were going to get down to a 4 after winning the Big East. Even Ohio State, like as an 8 seed, is solid. They just took Michigan, to the wire in the Big Ten tournament, so they're a team that can, be a little frisky in the second round for Duke. You keep going down like Kansas. You're talking about blue bloods. I think Louisville as a 6 seed is really strong. Michigan State kind of fell off at the end of the year. That was a team that was ranked in the top 10 all year. So UCLA, another team, they've had some injuries. If they can get healthy, they're another team that can make a run. So, yeah, I do think it's deep. I wonder what the ceiling is for a lot of those teams. Definitely with a team like Duke and Boozer being as strong as he is. But, yeah, it's definitely not an easy region. But I do still think Duke is about a coin flip to make it out into the Final Four out of that region.
Yeah, and would you say, who do you like on the bottom half of the East here, Austin?
Yeah, I don't love UConn and how they've trended, but my numbers, that's they're the likely team. They're still a good team. I think we're kind of, looking too much into the fact that St. John's got them twice over the last month or so. The sneaky team, I like Louisville. I kind of, it's like a sleeper team down there in the bottom half. I think Louisville can make some noise. But yeah, numbers are like in UConn. UConn Duke, a nice blue blood battle in the Elite Eight would be pretty fun.
In the South, and was there any team that came in with a ranking in the South that you thought, well, it could have been a little higher, could have been a little lower?
I thought Vanderbilt was. I thought if they would have won the SEC championship game yesterday, that they had a chance to be a 2 seed. Definitely, if Purdue would have lost to Michigan, I thought they were in contention for maybe a 2 seed with how their season went. They dropped to 5. I was told that was the big, everyone, 1 seed, whatever, you can live with it. I thought they should have been a 3. That one, Florida has a tough pass. We just saw Vanderbilt beat Florida by 20 in the SEC tournament. So I thought that was a team that was pretty surprising for me. Everything else kind of checked out. Florida and Houston were that, Florida got the edge to be the 1 seed, I think, just because Houston didn't win the Big 12 tournament. If they would have won that, maybe they would have been the 1 seed and they flipped. So everything else kind of looks similar, but yeah, I think Florida's got a tough road with Vanderbilt looming there as the 5 seed.
Let's slide over to the other side of the bracket with Austin Mock from The Athletic, covers the NCAA plus NFL football, and starting in the West. And Arizona is right now, I think you've got Arizona right behind Duke. Is that fair? Or you got them behind Michigan, pardon me. Well, they're the same, actually. You have them a 14% to win it all, tied with Michigan. But maybe just touch on Arizona and what you see in the West here, Austin.
Yeah, Arizona, I think, is the right. They're the best team, but I think Purdue is right there, and that's why you're seeing kind of the drop. I think, if you look at compared to Duke's region in the East, Duke and UConn, I think there's a bit of a gap there. So that's why their percentages came down a bit. But you look at the rest of it, I'm not super high on Gonzaga as the 3 seed, but I think Arkansas and Wisconsin are teams that can make a run there. Fast, Wisconsin plays fast. I think they scored the most points in a Wisconsin season since 1971 or something like that. They're a team that can get hot, and they're supposed to get healthier for the tournament as well. So that's a team that I think can be dangerous for them, and not a team that I think Arizona hopes to see in the Sweet 16, but for the most part, I think the bottom half is actually I'm less intimidated by. So I think Purdue has a pretty good run there. Definitely, they obviously winning 4 games in 4 days in the Big Ten tournament. They're coming in playing pretty well. So I think we're kind of on a collision course with Arizona and Purdue, which would be a fascinating matchup. But I think Purdue is the strongest 2 seed out of anyone. So I think Arizona has the toughest 2 seed to get through to the Final Four.
Yeah. In the Midwest, Michigan, number 1 ranked team in that side of the bracket. What are you making the bottom there with Iowa State coming at number 2?
Yeah, I think that, again, another strong 2 seed, like I said off the top here, like I think the 2 seeds are not that far from the 1 seed. It's not as far as people want to make it out to be. So I think with, I'm not super high on Virginia. I think Tennessee, like, could they make a Sweet 16 run? I think it works out for Iowa State. I think they have a pretty favorable path to get to the Elite Eight. Michigan is obviously super strong, but ever since their backup point guard, LJ Kaysen, went down, their offense has struggled a little bit over the last, it's only been 2.5 weeks or so, but something definitely to watch as we head towards the tournament. But yeah, Tech's been banged up. I think Iowa State's got a pretty good pass there and favorable, and I think they're definitely live to possibly be the best team in that region if Michigan can't figure out their offensive woes since Kaysen went down with injury.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a Cinderella team, an upset team, or a couple of them that you're going to go, this could be a team that makes things interesting here?
I think Santa Clara is one. I know we just talked about, I think Santa Clara can beat Kentucky. I think they can be frisky, but I actually like SMU. They're in the first 4. I thought they were surprised to be in that first 4. I think they can make a run with how their bracket works out. I think they have a favorable. I think NC State probably shouldn't have been in the first 4. I think they're a team that can make a run. When they play BYU, I already said I wasn't super high in Gonzaga, so I think they could be a surprise. I always kind of like to look for root for, I guess, the first 4 teams to try to make a run. I find that fun. So those are 2, SMU and NC State. I know they're power forward. The Cinderella, if I had to go lower down the list, probably, and it's tough, VCU. They've done it before, so it's hard for them to feel like a Cinderella. If I had to go further down the seed line, I'd take my shot on like a Hofstra or a High Point, just because I think they play a style of basketball that can, get hot for one weekend. So those are the 2, if we had to go further down the seed line, that I would be looking for. But I think a lot of the 11s can make a run.
Any chance McNeese, and you talked about Vanderbilt here already, any chance McNeese can come in as a number 12 and upset the Commodores?
Yeah, they're a team. I've been doing some filling out brackets. They're a team that I've been targeting because even though I do think Vanderbilt should have been seeded higher, I think that kind of leads to people being overconfident in them. I don't know if Vanderbilt's going to be overconfident in themselves. I'm not not saying that, but I do think McNeese is a team that, should be, if you're filling out brackets or whatever, I think they definitely can pull off the upset. But when you look at the brackets, like the 5-12, why that upset always happens and it's talked about is because those teams really aren't separated by that much. You're seeing single digit, spreads in the betting markets from those. So I think definitely they're a team that I'm targeting, in some larger bracket pools to go after. I think McNeese can definitely get through at least one round. 2 is a little bit tougher, but I think they can definitely make some noise.
Austin Mock from The Athletic, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. I want to just switch gears and talk a little NFL. What caught your eye last week with the copious amounts of money that was spent in free agency and teams signing some big tickets, big contracts to several players across the league with an AAV with so many guys over $20 million a year here, Austin?
Yeah, the wide receiver market, Alex Pierce almost getting $30 million was quite the surprise. I think the wide receiver market, we're going to see that kind of explode over the next year or 2. There was drama with the Max Crosby Baltimore trade, and then they had Trey Hendrickson. Yeah, it's just, you look at they announced the salary cap at $304 million, whatever it is, and then you see the projections for the next couple of years. I always try to remind people with a lot of these, the yearly averages and stuff, like the cap's projected to go up like $20 million every year. So like the percentages have to kind of follow that. So Odafe Owe got paid a ton. Like a lot of guys got paid, but there were some, like Mike Evans and Devin Lloyd didn't get paid as much as I thought they would, and I thought those were pretty good deals as well.
What did you make of the whole Baltimore Max Crosby Raiders thing here?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's a cop out, but I'm kind of in like a to be decided mode. I want to see if Crosby does suit up for the Raiders. I know this is going to be like a 6 months to be decided. If he does suit up for the Raiders and looks pretty good, then I think you can say Baltimore got cold feet, or however you want to kind of say it. If he gets traded or dealt, or he doesn't look the same, I think you can then say, okay, maybe there was something in the medical. So it's kind of hard for me to say. I don't want to blame either side. But if he gets traded and somebody else likes him and he looks good, then you do have to kind of question that. But on the flip side, like everybody's like, oh, they got Trey Hendrickson for cheaper. Sure, but Trey Hendrickson's 31. He is an older pass. That's usually in the NFL. You see pass rushers I know he's been really, really good the last couple of years. Had an injury last year. He's older. I think there is still some risk there. So they didn't get rid of the risk. They probably made the better decision by not giving up the first round draft picks. But yeah, to be decided on what I have an opinion on that deal. I don't know if that's a cop out, but that's where I'm at.
No, that's fine. And do you think how long do you think he lasts and stays in Vegas in Max Crosby here, Austin?
Yeah, it kind of depends on, I guess, how the season goes. I'm assuming they draft Fernando Mendoza number one, and if it works out and they are winning games, and he's playing well, maybe they just keep him and it works out. If they're not winning games, maybe and he's playing well, maybe they could trade him during the season next year. So there's a lot of different avenues there. I think that they have to wait now. I think his trade value is definitely kind of tarnished. He needs to kind of prove it more now. So I think, could be a midseason trade. It's kind of been rumored the last year or two of that happening, but I think that's probably the more likely chance. I don't think there's something that happens before the year starts at this point.
With the draft around the corner, do you still have Arvel Reese as the number one defender coming off the board after Fernando Mendoza?
Man, it's tough. If he was for sure, if I thought every team in the league thought he was for sure a pass rusher, I think Arvel Reese is for sure that guy. But because I think there's concerns, I don't know if the Jets have a concern about his ability to play on the edge and get after the quarterback, when you have David Bailey, who's I don't think there's any concerns if he can do that. So I think it's one of those two guys. Definitely at the Reuben Bain, the short arms, even though we kind of knew that going into the combine. I think those are David Bailey and Arvel Reese. I'll give the edge to Reese right now because I think he has a higher ceiling. But David Bailey had a good combine. He showed his athleticism as well. But it's one of those two guys. I'm still going to lean Reese, though. I'll give him the edge.
Austin, who would you say is the safest pick? And maybe in the top 10, call it the top 10, where okay, that we're going to have this guy and he's going to make an impact to our team, but he's not going to be a flop. Is there someone that comes to mind for you?
Yeah, I think so. It's tough. I wouldn't advise maybe a team in the top 5 thing, but I think it's Caleb Downs, safety at Ohio State, because I think he has such a high floor in that he can I think it's very easy to see him just being a, every down safety. Maybe he's not going to be the everybody's been talking about the big nickel and everything this year. I think he can be that. I think that's his ceiling. I think that's why he's the top 10 pick that he's going to be, or in that range. Safeties do tend to fall, but I think he just has the highest floor of everybody. I don't think there's can't miss prospects. I think it's a little bit of a weaker top end draft class. I just see him as, and Jeremiah Love, I'll give 2 answers. I think they both are the guys, again, not premium position. So I don't expect them to go 3rd or 4th or anything like that. But I do see them as hey, you're going to get a good player. How long that player lasts, how good they are, I don't know. Not at a premium position, but those guys kind of seem like day one, you're probably getting a starter level player, best chance of getting a starter level player. Whether they become elite running backs or elite safeties, that's a different question. But I think from a floor perspective, I think those two are the safest picks in the draft.
Hey, appreciate you coming on, Austin. Hey, by the way, how many March Madness brackets will you fill out?
You know what? I used to be worse. I used to do 25. Used to be in a bunch of pools. I'm down to I don't know, in 5 to 7-ish. It's not as crazy as it used to be. I got a couple family pools, work pools and stuff. I don't go crazy like I used to, but I used to definitely be in the 20s for sure.
Good stuff. Enjoy March Madness and the draft and everything else. Really appreciate you coming on as always. Thanks, Austin.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Yeah, Austin Mock from The Athletic. Great insight in his articles, the detail that goes through even when you go to the bracket and how he's got things set up. It's very user-friendly. I mean, you can punch any team up and talk about the percentages, what he thinks is going to happen here starting this week. So When we come back, we'll switch gears and talk a little hockey with Landon Ferraro, our Sports 1440 pre- and post-game analyst. It's the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio, presented by Sports Select. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Remember 2025? That's so last year. But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59.9. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a deal from Legacy. Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Why should you drive a Subaru? How about durability, style, and an excellent customer experience from the moment you step into the showroom? And how about accolades, including awards for numerous 2026 Subaru models from both AutoTrader and JD Power? But don't just take my word for it. Take a test drive and you'll see why the Subaru name is recognized and renowned for quality. To learn more, visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 1021 in Edmonton, and time now for the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. We've got a great selection, too. So many colors to pick from. $49,900 gets you behind the wheel. A brand new Jeep Gladiator for under $50K. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com as we welcome back Landon Ferraro, our pre- and post-game analyst here on Sports 1440. Good morning, Landon. You're with Kevin Karius once again. As always, thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. How are we doing today?
Oh, looking forward to another great week of sports. We had a great weekend, watched a lot of good stuff. Did you watch any of that golf at all, Landon, on the weekend?
No, I didn't. I was slammed with games. I called the Golden Eyes, the PWHL game here, the Canuck game that night. I was all about that stuff. A lot of decent hockey, but a lot of losses in Vancouver.
Well, there you go. But yeah, it was interesting to watch. There were some great up and downs and some guys that were making fabulous shots. They're so good. But I just we were talking about a little earlier with all the great talent, the Canadians that were there. So, and I know you're a big golfer.
It's with the Canadians starting to step up. It's been so fun over the past couple of years, and lucky enough, I haven't been able to play with them, but like Cam Hughes and a couple other guys have been through the circuit of courses down in Vancouver here, and you've seen them around a bit, and just listening to the difference of us compacting a driver and them, it's unbelievable.
It's a sound, right? That sound.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Later today, I don't know if you know much about this. Sudarshan Yelamarahu who moved to Canada when he was 4 from India. Maybe do a little reading up on him later, Landon, because you'll be blown away with his story and how he's got to where he is without taking a lesson, without a coach.
Well, there's some hope for all of us. I'll definitely read that.
I don't know, man, but it's a story.
Probably not, but glass half full today.
Exactly. What'd you make of the Oilers game last night? The 3-1 victory over Nashville.
I mean, there's a couple different feelings out of it, right? Like, obviously everything is kind of shadowed with Draisaitl having to leave the game and all of that. So, you're obviously worried that way, but at the same time, like, they played good. I was really happy to see that they wanted to, to give the try of Nugent Hopkins on the third line, leaving Savoy up top. One, because Savoy, I mean, he played really well, and I just wanted to see some more games with him and with McDavid, but also just finally trying to see what does a really good third line look like on the Oilers? Yeah. One that can really provide some offense. Like that one play of Nugent Hopkins to Roslovic, who had the really nice little touch pass to Dickinson. Yeah. Regardless of it going in or not, like I said it last night, when's the last time you saw an Oilers third line even come close to that type of play being made? Right? So I really enjoyed that. The difference of speed and creativity was between Savoy and McDavid. We all know that Nugent Hopkins is a very good player and his hockey IQ, but he's more like on his edges and finding those lanes and can make the really nice dishes. But Savoy, the way that he's a water bug and he flows around, and him and McDavid were interchanging, like it looks really good, and it was nice to see.
What is it about Savoy that, again, and you mentioned him going up and down, so he can play with Connor. We seeing that he can play with Leon. When Nuge was up with Connor, then he was down on the third line with Dickinson and Roslovic. So what is it about Savoy that you see that he has the capability to kind of be injected wherever he is and he does the job?
Well, I'll start with what I'm seeing and what I like about his game. It's the energy that he brings, and that's why I think it was so important. And, lots of people in Edmonton had talked about this through last year that like the Oilers needed some youth. Like they just needed some guys that are so excited in their first year in the league that can, help, but really kind of bring that energy. He brings that, but the way that he understands what his job is, especially when on a line with McDavid, like he's there to provide energy, get pucks, be that guy to play off of McDavid, because he does read the game really well and can understand, okay, he wants me to hold on to a puck here, or this is a quick one-touch back because he's setting something up. He understands all of that. But if you bring it out more, like my stepmom's Cami Granato, her brother's Donnie Granato, who coached Savoy when he was first drafted in Buffalo, and he was just in town here. So I've had a lot of conversations with him, and what he said was, Savoy shows up for his first training camp in Buffalo. And, he goes through it, he does pretty well, and, but he's going back to junior, and Donnie has his meeting with him at the end, and he asks him, how do you think it went? And knowing that just like every other kid, he thought he was going to come in and make the team, right? It is what it is. Mm-hmm. But at the end of it, he says, he's like, I've got a long way to go. Like, I got to go back to junior, and I've got to get to work. And Donnie made a point of, he's like, it wasn't that he was, upset or disappointed. He's like, there was a drive to it. And he's like, that was the first time I realized, like, we have a player here. Mm-hmm. And, he brought up, like, to have that confidence to say that to your coach at your first camp. Like, I had that exact same feeling in Detroit for my first camp. I realized I have a long way to go. No way I was ever going to say that to Mike Babcock, mm-hmm. right? Like, no way. I didn't have that confidence. And so for him to do that, like, it just shows again, like, he understands what he's got to do. He takes it serious, but he has fun with it too. He's just someone that has worked his way to this point. And the fact that he didn't get points early in the year, yet kept pushing, like, that's something I really, really respect out of the young player.
Yeah, because you can lose your confidence so quickly, right?
So fast.
Landon Ferraro with us on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. So Leon Draisaitl, hopefully Oiler fans are hoping that he's not going to be out for any length of time here. What did you make of him getting hit and the response and everything like that?
The hit, the tough thing there is like it wasn't a crazy hit. Like, yeah, Weisblatt definitely saw that it was him and wanted to make sure he got a good lick on him, but it wasn't this outrageous thing. And the fact that Leon took the hit and then just simply went up the boards and went right down the tunnel, like you knew something, like he felt something right away. The fact that he did come back and try makes me feel a decent amount better. Draisaitl's known to play through almost anything, but for the trainers to see whatever the issue is and allow him to go back, that says to me, they're like, this is just purely pain management. Can you handle and do what you need to with it? Because they're not worried about something getting worse. So I look at that as good news. I don't know if that's just me trying to talk myself into it, but that was my first read on it.
What is it, Landon, that every time, like if you, so there was the response and, Kapanen took a penalty, then there was the put goals and scrap, but so they were shorthanded a couple times as a result, the guys trying to get after Ozzy Weisblatt. What is it about when you stick up for a star, you always kill the penalty off, it seems?
Because it's the team coming together, right? Like it's one thing when, like, say I'm out there and I decide to throw a really bad elbow or even just like something like a really bad trip for no reason. Like the first thought of all the penalty killers is why? Like, why do I got to go do this again? Like, that's so unavoidable. But when it's something like that, like you're jacked up, you're proud of your teammate for jumping in there. Kapanen goes that way. Seeing Podkolzin and Hag fight right away. Like, to me, the Oilers can't take 4 penalties every game. But in saying that, last night was a emotionally charged game that the Oilers haven't really been. Like, Colorado was that a bit for sure, but like this one, the emotions were high. And I loved the fact that they stuck up for each other. Yeah, they took a couple bad penalties, but they were so dialed in. That PK looked unbelievable last night, and they drew some momentum out of it. So I have no problem with that happening once in a while, because again, I think that really brought a team that is close together, but they brought them close for that game, and you can see what the intensity and the focus ramped up, and they played a really good game.
Landon Ferraro with us on Sports 1440. So if Leon's not able to go here, say tomorrow against San Jose, and we talked about this a little earlier, and you mentioned how you love this third line. Would you keep this third line together and maybe just throw like a Josh Szymanski between Podkolzin and Kapanen?
I would definitely try that off the start, because I want that third line to keep playing together. Because I don't want to waste time of seeing if that works for when Draisaitl is back, if he did have to miss some time, right? So I'd like to see that stay together. In saying that, you can tell probably pretty quick into tomorrow night's game, okay, this is too much to ask of Szymanski, because he's done really well, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's come up and provided some really solid minutes for a guy that's playing his first year in North America. Like, this is a lot more than a lot of people expected. So, yeah, let him go try that. If it's too much, then you can doctor things around to make it work for that night. But I'd like to see them keep it together and let them keep building chemistry, if that can keep, if it can work in the meantime.
Landon Ferraro, our pre and post game analyst here on Sports 1440, our guest on the Kevin Carey Show. Prior to the game, Chris Knobloch was asked about Connor Ingram, Landon, and basically he said the net's his. It's his until something happens, basically. Does a coach need to say that, you think, or does the goaltender kind of figured it out? Does he know that, or does that help him, that little vote of confidence, if you want to look at it?
I would say in most other years, in different situations, you don't need to say it publicly, because you already know what's going on, inside the room, and as the player, where you're at. This is a different situation. Connor Ingram was out for a while, in the getting the help that he needed. Then he comes back. He's in the American League. Then he gets, Edmonton's goaltending situation blows up. Now he gets called up, he gets thrown into it. Like, there's a lot going into this right now. And then, he's expecting to be Jari's backup. Well, it hasn't really worked out that way. And Ingram put up another good game last night. To me, there's two reasons to say what Knobloch said. One is to really give the confidence to Ingram of, hey, like, you've earned this and it's your net right now. Like, feel that confidence and bring it into your play. But the other part, which I think is honestly the part that he really focused on while saying this or making that point, is Jari now that's out there. Like, hey, you've lost the net and you need to figure this out. Like, I want you to figure this out. But like, you need to put the work in, you need to, accept the situation and then battle against it. Right. So to me, it's giving confidence to one goaltender and trying to light a fire under the other one to get the most, because if, looking back over the last few playoffs and everything, like, you're going to need two goalies. You're going to need that help. So they need to get those guys going. And that to me is why he, the two reasons why he would have done that.
Landon Ferraro with us on Sports 1440. Obviously, as you spoke off the top, doing so much work with the Canucks this year. I can't imagine how quickly they want this season to end and, try to right the ship for next year. Can they right the ship for next year? Or what are we looking at here? Is it how much longer of a process do you think this is here, Landon?
Well, I mean, I guess your first question, it depends. What does right the ship mean? Does that mean that they're fully on their rebuild path and they've drafted their players and they're committing to it? To me, that is them righting the ship, because they're not getting back into a playoff race next year. Then that's not the goal. And honestly, I really, really hope they don't attempt to do that, right? Like, they've committed to this rebuild. They've traded Hughes. They've traded Myers. They've traded Garland. I'd have a tough time believing that Jake DeBrusk is here at the start of next season.
What about
Brock
Pettersson
Besser,
for you?
Say again, sorry?
What about Pettersson for you at the start of next year?
I really think that he'll be somewhere else as well. And honestly, at this point, it's been 2 years of this here in Vancouver. Like, for both sides' sake, I really hope that they're able to move him on and that he accepts the move on, because he has his no trade. It's, you can go at the player's play and, dissect it and say that you'd like him to shoot more, score more, play better, all of these things, and they're valid. But really, like, at the end of the day, like, Pettersson is a human. He's got feelings, and yeah, he's making a ton of money, but could you imagine every day getting off the radio and then having a bunch of people telling you how bad you are and they don't want you in your city anymore? Like, that's mentally a lot, right? It's time for him to move on, the Canucks to be able to move on as well and start this new path of this rebuild that they're on. That to me is righting the ship. It's taking care of your house, making the right draft picks, and setting your path that way, because the the Canucks have, kept wanting to put Band-Aids on things to keep the playoff dream alive. It's shattered. It can't be done right now anymore. Like, you need to finally draft well for a couple of years and hope that you can get yourself to the point where you can compete for 8 and not just survive.
Is Adam Foote back, you think, Landon?
I don't think so. Again, I think there's too much that's gone on this year. And I don't even mean just with him, just with the whole situation of finally accepting the rebuild. And, to me, it's all about bringing in the right guy that can really develop the young players. For me, Adam Foote is an unbelievable defensive coach, penalty kill coach. You saw that while he was under Tocchet. And this isn't a slight of Foote. Not everyone is meant to be a head coach. There's a lot of different things you're balancing and trying to take care of, and your mind's going a million different ways. Again, I just go back to, I coached junior my first year out of playing. I ran the D. I realized very quick I'm not meant to be a bench boss. There's a lot going on back there. There's, it's not for everyone. So to me, I think they move on. I think they get someone in younger, much like Pittsburgh brought in a Dan Muse, or Washington brings in Cardbury. Like, bringing in that new energy, a bit more youthful in the sense of, hey, our team is going to be really young. I want all of these people to grow together.
Warsofsky's another example there.
Yes, exactly.
What do you got for games this week, Landon?
I've got Oilers and Vancouver tomorrow. I've got another PWHL game on the weekend. It's a little bit everywhere. It's nice though. It's fun. Honestly, adding the PWHL games this year has been so much fun. Those games have been great. I know you guys don't have a team there yet, but the takeover has come through and all of that. Honestly, those games are so fun to go to. The skill's great. The atmosphere is unreal. And especially, having to pair it with Vancouver Canuck hockey over here, it's been a nice little relief for a broadcaster as well.
No kidding. As always, thanks for coming on, Landon. Take care. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, have a good one.
Landon Ferraro, our analyst here on Sports 1440 pre and post game show. And the game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where again, the Jeep Gladiator Sport packages are here. $49.9 gets you behind the wheel. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440. And then we'll wrap up the show. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio, presented by Sports Select. And we're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
NHL Star Sticks are back at McDonald's, and we're celebrating by going bigger.
Make that smaller, way smaller than ever before.
Collect the set and get one of 7 mini sticks with every NHL Star Sticks meal. Featuring McDavid, Matthews, Quinn Hughes, Makar, Celebrini, Reinhart, and Montembeau. So get yours while they last. 1 stick per meal purchase. Limited time at participating Canadian restaurants.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
The Price is Right, live at the Brick. Come on down to any Brick location for your chance to win over $300,000 in prizes. They're giving away shopping sprees, mattresses, appliance packages, big screen TVs, and so much more. Plus, this Saturday, play for up to $1,000 off your purchase. Everyone who makes a purchase is a winner. The price is always right at the Brick. The Brick, saving you more. Some conditions apply. See in store for details.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 furnace install company for sailors because they know the value of a warm port. And they sing, there was a ship who fought the cold, who sailed the sea with a furnace load. She brought the heat to YEG and her name was Legacy. Through icy wind and winter squall, her fire she burned for one and all with a comfort chugging guarantee, and her name was Legacy. No payments, no! Yep, no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. Don't trust just any port in a winter storm. Trust Legacy Heating and Cooling.
No fluff, no fillers, just pure entertainment. Sports 1440 brings the heat with bold opinions, big personalities, and Edmonton's fiercest fans. This is your turf. This is Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
You've enjoyed a long winter with your Ego snowblower, but now it's the time to get ready for spring. Bring your summer Ego equipment in for service. Or if you're looking to add to your lawn care fleet with new mowers or trimmers, Ego has a wide selection of products to fit every season. Ego also has the powerful wet-dry vacuum and pressure washer to make your cleaning and lawn care a breeze.
We're more than repairs. We're more than mowers. The Lawnmower Hospital.
Ah, yes, Alberta in March. Green beer and slushy roads. Where the only thing worse than the roads is trusting them. If your brakes are squealing louder than a pub on game night, or your shocks feel like they found potholes instead of a pot of gold, it's time to go to Napa Auto Parts. With over 85 locations in Alberta, Napa has the quality parts, tools, equipment, and know-how to keep your ride smooth and feeling confident. More than lucky. Visit your local store today or visit online at napacanada.com. That's Napa Know-How.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
A relaxing day at the lake without a Toyota Tundra can be noisy. But when you get a Tundra at your local Toyota dealer, you can take advantage of up to 11,000 pounds of towing capacity to find a quieter spot. Ah, that's better. Lease a 2026 Tundra 4x4 Double Cab SR5 from $149 weekly for 60 months at 5.29% APR with $8,199 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Irrelevant Saskatchewan history. Kevin's got it. But first, catch the exclusive interviews and stories nobody else has. The Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
Back to the big program, 1044 in Edmonton. Final segment of the Kevin Karius Show. Brought to you by Sports Select. And if you like the paper selection slips, just go to your local lotto spot retailer. It's 100% legal. You got to be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. That's just one of the ways you can play Sports Select. Incredible news. It's going to be announced here in the next bit for our city and our province hosting the World Cup of Hockey in 2028. Joint bid by Calgary and Edmonton. There's a news conference slated for noon at Rogers Place with the Oilers Entertainment Group. It's going to be a news conference that is simultaneous with a media availability in Calgary. The NHL is announcing something in about 15 minutes down in Florida. And that will be where it is announced that Calgary and Edmonton will have the joint bid and the joint two cities to host. Calgary's rink will be ready by 2028. The semifinal and the final will be held in Edmonton, not in Calgary. The semifinal and the final will be held in Edmonton. Obviously, this is a massive event, especially when you think about what happened at the Olympics and what we saw from there. It's going to be 8 teams, 8 nations, 8 countries. So also in the next 2 years, we'll find out and figure out who knows what the hell's going to happen with Russia. But if Russia's back in the mix by then, so you would think that, you look at it's obviously Canada, the US, Sweden, and Finland. If Russia gets in, that's 5. You would think that Germany would be one of the teams. Czech would be one of the teams. Maybe Slovaks too, I guess. So that would be the 8 teams. All that stuff is still to be determined. But this is a massive proposal that was put forth with 15 mil seed money from the government of Alberta. But the amount of revenue that will be generated in the 2 cities in Alberta will be massive. So again, news conference slated for 11 our time in Florida at the GM meetings. And then there'll be an announcement here at 12 down at Rogers Place in the Hall of Fame room. And that will be with representatives from the government of Canada, Alberta, the city, and even Explore Edmonton. Man, wonder if Quinn Phillips will be there with Explore Edmonton. Would be the highlight of her life. Matt Leduc says Calgary, Edmonton, and Prague. The league must be tired of whining about travel, trying to show them what the real travel is like. How much are tickets going to be, MTR says. Well, I don't think they'll be giving them away, MTR. But this is obviously, as big of news when you're looking, and everyone has been asking, like, when is Edmonton going to host the draft? Or when, but this is bigger, I think, even bigger than the draft. Although I think a lot of people enjoy the draft because of where it's situated, end of June and things like that. But just a couple of comments. I'm just kind of going through a few of these articles that have sort of surfaced out of 4th World Cup of Hockey. It's going to be 96, 04, and 2016. So it's going to be 12 years in between the last and this next one. So obviously the Americans are the defending Olympic champions, and the World Cup of Hockey will be going best on best every 2 years following the Olympic Games. And so 28 and 32 after the Olympics in Milano Cortina, and then now in France for 2030. So, Duke, are you going to be going to these games?
if my kidneys are still in good enough shape that I can sell one of them to get tickets.
Just sell your teeth for ivory.
Because, well, and I wonder, would someone be better suited to make a little road trip down to Cowtown? Because the tickets for the round robin games are obviously going to be cheaper than the semifinal and final games being hosted here. So maybe that's fun. You take a little trip down, check out the new rink, check out the new building, take in some round robin games, and then watch the semifinal and final from the comfort of your home, knowing you'll still be able to pay your rent or mortgage without shelling out for the tickets.
Dallas, the farmer, says, so KK, this will replace the Four Nations, Yen. Yes, it will. It will replace the Four Nations because now you got the 8 teams. Kyle says this will be as close to the Olympics, as we'll ever get. It's awesome. It will be better than the Olympics because think about it. You had Italy.
Great team.
And you had Latvia. So
good team.
I mean, a lot of this is dependent on Russia. So if Russia gets in here, now you've got 5 teams that are like, between Sweden, Finland, and Russia, the Americans and Canada. You got 5 really, really excellent countries. I think people would say that the Czechs, Slovaks, and then Germany would round out the top 8. Am I out to lunch here, Duke, on that?
Well, I don't think so, barring them getting really uniquely creative, like we saw them last time with the Team North America, the U23 team, and then obviously Team Europe. Now, I must say, I am in favor of a Team Europe in the field for the sake of some of the very one-off type nations. I mean, the name that immediately jumps to mind is like Anže Kopitar playing for Slovenia. He's going to be retired by the time this tournament happens. We know that. But there are other guys that play for Denmark and Austria that deserve a chance to be showcased, because if we want to say it's best on best, so do you take what would be your 8th ranked team, if that's Germany or Slovakia, and say, okay, no, you get your best collection of players from that nation, but you're also bringing in a couple Danes, couple
so you
Austrians.
maybe throw together
I would, yeah, I would
will.
like to see a best of the rest type team, like 7 nations and then a best of the rest.
Best of the rest. So just to read this correctly, I think. So it's the O2 Arena in Prague. And it says the Scotia Place, the new arena in Calgary, will each host 6 games, round robin, and 1 elimination game.
I'm seeing 7.
7?
Each
6 and 1.
Oh, 6 round robin, 1 elimination.
Yeah, so 7. So, but I mean, so the teams that are playing in Prague, so if you are whatever country that's playing those games over there, okay, it's going to be one pool, I would imagine.
Like one pool in each city.
Yeah, in Prague, 1 in Calgary. Is that how they're?
They're not going back and forth.
So some players are going to have to go over to Prague, obviously, and play those games there. The other thing too, Duke, that I have never seen in any of the releases or anything that's been talked about. So there'll be 17 games. So if Rogers just hosts the semifinal and final, then that makes sense, right?
Yep.
Well, semifinals. There'll be 2 semifinals.
Two semis. Yeah. Edmonton gets 3 games. Calgary and Prague each have 7.
Yeah. 8-nation tournament. So they've said that the full schedule will be announced at a later date. Like I assume that it's like in the middle of the season here again.
February, I believe, is the.
But they don't have the.
I'm not seeing that in here, but that was the understanding going into this announcement. February 2028.
Yeah.
Says it here.
But the dates aren't out yet, right?
Oh, no.
Obviously.
No.
Oh, Northside Lou says Switzerland will be ahead of Slovakia. Well, that's fine. Swiss over Germany. But maybe Duke is right, and there is a potpourri, just like they had in the years ago with the Team North America.
The 2016 World Cup. And there was a Team Europe team in that tournament, obviously, right? They went to the final, for goodness sake. Because
Team North America was good.
They were a lot of fun. Now, I'm not necessarily on board with that because it robs players for representing their country if they're like Macklin Celebrini. In 2 years' time, he'd still be playing on that team instead of Team Canada. So I like that. It was a fun idea. I don't know I want to see it again until maybe another generation of players comes through. But yeah, the Team Europe one really intrigues you. And here's the other thing, Kevin, because this is an NHL event. This is not
that is correct, sir.
Double IHF event. So riddle me this, are only NHL players
Yes.
participating, which tells me there are not enough Slovakian or Swiss players to make a full roster, or Czech players for that matter.
Top Guy texts in, sorry, boys, I missed the beginning of the conversation. Are the Russians finally allowed to get back and participate in this stuff? Well, that'll be a question that Gary Bettman answers here in like 10 minutes. And his answer is going to be, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We're still a fair ways off here. Anything can happen as far as what goes on with Ukraine and things like that. So, for one, I would imagine could you imagine if this thing is still going on in Ukraine? But if that were to be the case, then the NHL would say no. They will take the same line and the same stance as the Olympics and say, no way. Yeah. So, but again, it's a couple years off here. So, well, Duke, you guys got something to yak about here on the old fantasy frenzy.
Yep, you're right.
The World Cup.
How will Justin Fields fare as a Kansas City Chief?
Oh, man. Come on now.
It's going to dominate the headlines today. What are you talking about, Kevin? March Madness. We're going to break down the bracket. And I do, if I can, really quickly before we wrap up this show, put a little plug in. We are doing our Fantasy Frenzy Bracket Challenge again this year. $10 is the entry fee. Level of experience or ball knowledge is essentially minimal, which the evidence of that is the fact that the two winners in previous years are Eddie Steele and Donovan Paulson.
Yeah, which is almost unheard of.
That's like they're guessing, right? Yeah. It's the same as if you just handed it to your 10-year-old and were like, "Hey, here's all the team's logos. Pick which ones you
pick which
ones you like."
If you had to pick one guy that you'd say who was luckier to win, like that, like if you were putting odds out, Eddie to win or Donovan to win, who's the higher odds? Or is it almost the same?
Eddie will hate this, but I actually think his chances of winning were lower. Donovan, he's like got a little bit of that. He's got a little bit of that.
Eddie doesn't have it.
Resourcefulness. Anymore. He probably did a lot of Eddie. Donovan has nothing else going on. He can just dedicate a week to reading, listening, watching experts, and then try and formulate his opinion. Which, fair enough. That's what almost all of us do. But Eddie, he's got family, kids, another job. Right? He doesn't necessarily have the same available time, and as a result, I would put his chances lower than Donovan's were.
You know. I always like when we were talking about Russia here, Duke. I love reading a controversial or a text that gets the blood, everything kind of working and then leave. Brett texts in, why should the USA be allowed in international events when Russia isn't? They're doing the same thing. All right, top of the hour.
That's when you hand things over.
Top of the hour, coming up at the top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
the former Russia teacher,
Connor Halley and the Duke of Delburne. We'll have the lowdown with Alan Mitchell from 12 to 2, 2 to 6. Jason Greger drives us home with the Jason Greger Show. We got Fox Sports all night long until 7 in the morning, where we will be back with you tomorrow morning. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Hey, thanks everyone for listening this morning. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all the great texts and all the super interaction. We could not do the show without you. Hope you have a marvelous rest of your Monday. We're back with you tomorrow morning at 7. Until then, here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Breaking news come out of the NHL and the NHLPA this morning. The World Cup of Hockey is set to return in 2028 with Edmonton, Calgary, and Prague in the Czech Republic, all serving as host cities. Each round-robin city, Prague and Calgary, will host 7 games total. Edmonton hosting the semifinal and finals at Rogers Place. Tonight in the NHL, 5 games total. Detroit hosting Calgary. Boston is in Jersey. Kings up against the Rangers from MSG. Stars play the Mammoth. And the Pens and Avalanche go at it in the nightcap. 8 games across the association, including Boston hosting Phoenix. Memphis is in Chicago. New Orleans up against the Mavericks. Golden State visits Washington. And the Clippers host San Antonio in the evening's finale. World Baseball Classic second semifinal goes today with Italy playing Venezuela. First pitch coming just after 6 o'clock. And from the NFL offseason, New York Jets trading quarterback Justin Fields to the Kansas City Chiefs in exchange for a 2027 6th round pick. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brandon Douglas at your sports